Zero, but
From McKeon Park in Hyannis, Massachusetts, it's Game 31 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season as the first place team in the West, the Cotuit Kettleers, will do battle with the Hyannis Harbor Hawks sitting at third place in the West Division. Hi, everybody, and welcome back into the Kettleers Radio Network. I'm Joe Pratt. He's Alex Rocco, and this is Game 31. And Alex, we got a good one here today. It's the fourth meeting of the young season between these two teams, and a couple of great matchups between these two guys on the first one back in June and then two July contests in which Cotuit was able to win one of those games.
And that it has been three excellent contests, but even the last two, of course, the second to last time that we were here, Cotuit coming back, trailing by 2 runs in that ninth inning. They scored two to tie it in the ninth, pulled away with three in the top of the 10th to come away with the 7-4 victory. But things were not the same when the Kettleers returned to McKeon Park just a couple of days later. Hyannis pulled off with a 14-4 victory where the offense came out firing against the Kettleers starter, Colton Hartman. So the key today for Cotuit is to build off of the loss 2 days ago against YD and start this new stretch of games on a high note.
Yeah, it was a stretch where Cotuit didn't lose a game in over a week and a half, and for Cotuit, they lost that game on Sunday night, 6-3 battle with YD, the best team in the East Division. Just what did you see from that contest and why they weren't able to come away with the win?
Well, it was inconsistent hitting. The Kettleers got production. It just wasn't enough. They scored 2 runs in the first 2 innings, then went silent through the third through the sixth. And during that stretch, YD put up 3 runs in the top of the fifth and was once again the Kettleers falling behind anytime you're trailing 5-2 after three. It's going to be hard to come away with the victory.
Yeah, it is. And Cotuit trying to get back today against Hyannis. Last time these two teams met, a 14-4 loss, looking for some more consistency from 1 through 9. And they'll be going up against Grant Stevens, the left-handed pitcher out of Oklahoma. And how will the Kettleers line up against him, Alex?
Tanner Thatch remains in the leadoff spot for Mike Roberts, so he will lead off and play first. Batting second and getting the start behind the dish is Grant J. Hitting third and playing in left field is Brandon Compton. Batting fourth and is the designated hitter, that is Devin Taylor. Batting fifth and in right field, Easton Winfield. Hitting sixth and in center is Charles Davalon. Batting seventh and playing shortstop is Timo Becerra. Hitting eighth and manning the hot corner is Nolan Naraki, and rounding out the Cotuit order is the second baseman, Jaron Advincula.
So it'll be Tanner Thatch going up against Grant Stevens. Stevens making his second start this season for the Harbor Hawks. The guy who made an appearance last week against Falmouth. Hyannis ended up losing that game. He threw 48 pitches, 3 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs. Nods his head up and down once, and from the windup, he will deal to Tanner Thatch, who laces one straight back into the net and is back to 0-1. So first pitch at 6:04 p.m. local time. Lights are on above McKeon Park. Patchy overcast clouds overhead. Hyannis wearing those bright orange uniforms with the script navy blue Hyannis across the front of it as he goes into his windup once more, and Stevens dials in a fastball too high to Thatch, and it's 1-1. Cotuit wearing their road maroon uniforms. Cotuit block letters across the front in navy blue, actually, as that breaking ball is fouled away by Tanner Thatch, and it's a 1-2 count to him. The first breaking ball we've seen there from Grant Stevens, who's coming off of a season at Oklahoma, was his first year with the Sooners at a 4.28 ERA, and the 1-2 pitch to Thatch is spoiled foul once more, keeping the count at 1-2. So the infield will play to the right for him. Blake Cavill is the first baseman, Mason White at second, Eric Snow the shortstop, and Dalton Bargo plays far off the line at third for the left-handed swinging Tanner Thatch, who awaits this pitch from Stevens. The 1-2 is a fastball too far outside, and it's 2-2 to Tanner Thatch. Thatch recently being named to the Cape League All-Star game last week. Through 27 games this season, a 280 hitter, 8 homers. As he hits this one on the ground towards second base, Mason White is up with it and an easy play to first to get the first out of the game.
Stevens have been working on the outside corner against the lefty Thatch, and so wise move by the starter Stevens. As we talked about it all year long, just the ability of Tanner Thatch to crush pitches on the low and inside corner. So Stevens working away from the lefty and gets him to roll over on a ground ball to Mason White.
So now they'll go from left-handed power hitter to right-handed power hitter Grant J. Grant J back behind the dish today, and the first pitch he'll get from Stevens is a fastball down beneath his knees, 1-0. So Grant J coming into this ball game and really coming into this season has been trying to lower that strikeout rate, something that he struggled with these past 2 seasons at Dallas Baptist, and has brought that issue into the Cape League as he goes after that breaking ball and swings right over it. It's 1-1. But a .296 hitter this past season at Dallas Baptist was able to knock 20 homers, matching his hit total also from his freshman season with 60. So 120 hits through 2 years for him as he flips that one foul over our heads and out of play. So 1-2 the count to Grant J. Saw him at the beginning of the season begin to cut down on those strikeouts, put the ball in play a lot more, but seemingly he's returned to some of those bad habits at the plate, Alex.
There was a stretch early on in the year where Grant J was 3 for 8 with a pair of home runs, really driving the ball, but as of late, just struggling to avoid the strikeout.
Goes after this 1-2 pitch and laces it high down the right field line. Charging in is Kane Kepley and into the Kettleers bullpen. That will take a hop and run over the fence down the right field line. Grant J working the count here. It's still 1-2. Kane Kepley plays in right field, gets his 31st straight start of this summer. Only player in the entire Cape League, other than Phoenix Call at Yarmouth Dennis, to have played in every single game so far. Eddie Pelk gets the start in center field. Josh Tate in left. 1-2 pitch once more to Jay is a breaking ball. Cut on and missed. Goes back to the backstop. Peebles back to get it. Will just let Grant J advanced up to first base. So Jay reaches on a strikeout. Kettleers will have their first runner of the ball game for Brandon Compton.
Just a ball that went right through the legs of Cannon Peebles, a large backstop here at McKeon Park, so that works to the advantage of Grant J, who was out in front of that last off-speed pitch, but luckily it was in the dirt and got away from Peebles.
Peebles getting the start against his former team, of course, playing with Cotuit in the summer of 2023. Just one game this summer before being released and added to the Hyannis roster earlier this month. Brandon Compton will take a strike up above his letters and is down in the count 0-1. So Compton, the second lefty in this lineup. First it was Tanner Thatch. Now Compton batting with Grant J, who is still standing on first base. Facing Stevens for the first time. The 0-1 pitch, cut on and missed. So down 0-2, the count goes Brandon Compton. That one located low and outside. Compton second on the team with 28 games played this season. Second on the team also with 29 hits. That's 11 hits behind Jaron Advincula. Brought his batting average up to a .312 clip and really continues to swing a hot bat at the heart of this order as they'll check back at Grant J at first. Tag applied by Blake Cavill, but he's in there standing up. So Brandon Compton riding an 8-game hitting streak going into this ball game. He's 14 of his last 29 at the plate. Stevens comes set from the stretch. A fastball, low and away, called a ball 1. Good eye there from Brandon Compton, who watched it all the way through into the catcher's mitt of Cannon Peebles. Infield again, shifted to the right side, the pull side for Brandon Compton. Cavill holding the runner on at first. Shortstop Eric Snow shaded about 10 feet to the left of the bag from our view, and the 1-2 pitch. Cut on and missed, strike 3. So Brandon Compton goes after that high breaking ball. Comes up empty for the second strikeout this inning, but the second out of the frame for Grant Stevens, as Jay still remains on first.
Stevens was attacking Compton up in the zone there, and on that last heater, just getting Compton to expand his zone and go down on 4 pitches.
So now here's Devin Taylor, another lefty. Grant Stevens ready with the red and blonde glove. Will step back with his left foot off the rubber and throw to first, but Jay's back in there standing up. I don't know where they get. So Devin Taylor going into this game having gone 0 for 4 2 days ago on Sunday night. And Cotuit's 6-3 loss against Yarmouth Dennis. This throw is upstairs. Grant Stevens behind 1-0. But Taylor through 19 games, a .290 hitter, has driven in 11 runners, walked 9 times, blasted 4 homers, all of which have come away from Lowell Park, and he'll take a strike here on a breaking ball, and it's 1-1. So a season high 3 strikeouts his last game against Yarmouth Dennis on Sunday, one of which was looking, and he was really confused about some of those calls in that game. Wound up going 0 for 4, a difficult day at the plate for him, and the 1-1 pitch is upstairs. 2-1 the count to Devin Taylor, who at Indiana the past 2 years, 114 total games, has never gone 2 games in a row without reaching base. 2-1 pitch, caught on and missed. Another good breaking ball low and away from Grant Stevens, and it's 2-2. 1 strike away from escaping this top of the first inning. Grant J still on first base. And with the lefty up, infield and outfielders are playing straight up. Stevens set. Here comes the 2-2. It misses low and away. So Devin Taylor, how many times have we been able to say this season, Alex? Another 3-2 count.
Countless times. It's Devin Taylor, such a talented hitter, always working deep in at-bats, and just the prototypical at-bat that you'd want to have in the first inning.
Payoff pitch, fouled off the glove of Peebles and back to the backstop. Grant J was going there on the 3-2 offering from Grant Stevens. Stevens, his second start this summer, has plenty of summer ball experience, though. And recently making the switch from the University of the Pacific to Oklahoma this past season. 3-2 pitch to Devin Taylor, misses up high, and he's on his way to first. So a full count walk, good battle there worked by Devin Taylor, and they'll have runners on first and second with 2 gone.
Just a really good at-bat by Devin Taylor. As Stevens was giving him good pitches to hit, but there you see the discipline of a guy like Devin Taylor, not expanding his zone and working the 7-pitch walk.
Now Cannon Peebles just talking things over with his pitcher on the mound. Just them two. He walked out there, have a conference with his left-handed thrower who recently lost Devin Taylor by the walk there. So his back-to-back strikeouts, though, Grant J was able to reach as a second batter in this game on a drop third strike. Brandon Compton struck out swinging, and now runners are on first and second for Easton Winfield. Gets his 7th start of the summer here today, facing the lefty Stevens, who goes into his windup and throws low and outside, a breaking ball that misses. 1-0. So Winfield through 7 games has 9 hits, hitting .333. Has been able to reach base in all 7 games played to this point. Stevens takes a peek over at second, now throws a fastball, fouled away by Easton Winfield, and it's 1-1. 85 on the gun there from Stevens with the fastball. Not going to blow it by you, but locating it pretty well, especially in those last couple at-bats before the Devin Taylor AB, where he was able to get back-to-back strikeouts, trying to end the inning and strand 2 runners on base. He comes set. 1-1 offering to Winfield. Watches the breaking ball all the way through. Didn't quite like the call as it nearly grazed by his front thigh, but called a strike 2, and it's 1-2 to Winfield. We saw Winfield last week playing a couple of games, moved up in the order to the 2nd spot. Now back to 5 today as he bounces this one towards the on-deck circle. Foul ball right at Charles Davalon, who will bat after him, playing in center field today, Winfield and right. So Cotuit going into this ball game at 19-10-1. 1 game ahead of the Wareham Gatemen, 18-11-1, and Hyannis with 17 wins. So just a couple of wins separating the top 3 in this division. Fouled away by Winfield once more, deep down the left field line, past a couple of fans in their lawn chairs. Hope everyone's okay there, as there is a small blue grandstand positioned just on top of that grassy hill that's above the fence down the left field line. Fans lining just above that fence and then on top of the hill. That's, of course, just beyond the large home grandstand that's just behind the Hyannis dugout. As Winfield spoils one straight back into the net once more, keeping the count alive at 1-2. Cotuit batter's done a nice job of working counts here against Stevens early on. He's really struggling to find that finishing pitch.
And his pitch count continuing to rise. 28 pitches so far, 19 strikes, and just another really good at-bat by Winfield.
And Winfield will take outside once more. 71 on the gun that time, and now 2-2 to Winfield.
And Joe, going back to your point that you made about Devin Taylor, how many times have we said this? He works the count full. Devin Taylor this year leads Cotuit in full count at bats, 27 so far.
Just incredible stuff from him as Winfield saws that off. It twists over the home grandstand, out of play, but it's a crazy thing that you bring up because Devin Taylor missed a lot of time with the Kettleers at the end of June with the Team USA roster, but good to see him continue to work the count full. And as we were talking about, seems like every single time that he's up there. He takes a big lead off first. Granche at second. Winfield swings and misses at strike three. 75-mile-an-hour breaking ball from the lefty Stevens catches Winfield chasing. And that is the third out of this top of the first inning. Cotuit will strand runners on first and second, bring nobody home as it's 0-0. We go to the home half of the first here on the Kettleers Radio Network. Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
Cotuit Library. Since its founding in 1874, the Cotuit Library has served its community with an expansive collection that continues to grow. Their staff is dedicated to serving all ages, offering youth events weekly. The library has dozens of events scheduled throughout the summer, so be sure to head to the website at cotuitlibrary.org to see what's coming up next. The library is located right off Main Street. The Cotuit Library, a proud sponsor of the
Bottom of the first inning from McKeon Park. Gabriel Nard is back out there for his second start of this summer. Making a start last week for the Kettleers, has appeared as a reliever plenty of times, but how will the Harbor Hawks line up against him today, Alex?
So leading things off for Hyannis, their same leadoff hitter for the past 30 games. This make it game 31. It's the right fielder, Kane Kepley. Hitting second, playing shortstop is Eric Snow. Batting third, and man in the hot corner is Dalton Bargo. Hitting fourth and is a designated hitter, that's Michael Gattalo. Batting fifth and playing center field, Eddie Pelt. Hitting sixth against his former team. Making the start behind the dish was Cannon Peebles. Batting seventh and playing second base is Mason White. Hitting eighth and playing first base is Blake Cavill. And rounding out the Harbor Hawks order is the left fielder, Josh Tate.
So it'll be Kane Kepley who enters into his 31st ball game this summer with exactly 100 at-bats. He has 23 hits, and that's good for a .230 clip at the plate. So he digs in from the left side. A lot of activity with that blonde bat over his navy blue helmet. And the first pitch he sees from Gabe Nard is a fastball down beneath his knees. 1-0, 91 on the gun from Gabriel Nard. Making his 8th appearance for the Kettleers so far this summer. And this being his second start, goes into his windup once more. The righty finds the zone with the fastball down low, and it's 1-1. So making his first start of the season against Yarmouth Dennis back on June 18th, he gave up 3 earned runs. Has not allowed that many runs in an outing since then. The 1-1 pitch. Kepley watches a fastball go by, and it's 2-1. Most recent outing was last Wednesday against Orleans. Got the start at Lowell Park. 4 innings pitched, walked 3 batters, and that was really the issue. And the reason as to why he allowed 2 earned runs. 2-1 pitch to Kepley, misses low and away. As he allowed 2 earned runs, no hits allowed. Kettleers no hit the Firebirds through 6 innings. Lucas Perko going into that 7th frame, getting the first 2 outs, then allowed a hit. Orleans made a game out of it, though, eventually nearly came away with the win. As Kane Kepley will accept ball 4 here up and away, heading to first for a first base runner of the game for Hyannis, but for Gabe Nard, it was more of the same for him the last time out, walking batters early on.
And he struggled mightily with his command in that first inning, allowing the 2 runs like you mentioned, Jeff. But after that, Nard really settled in, turned in a good performance, but fell behind Kane Kepley as he walked him on 5 pitches.
He just threw back there at Kane Kepley at first. He dove back in there safely. Stolen base threat, 15 stolen bags, has only been caught 3 times this season. A throwback there again. He plops back on the bag safely. Eric Snow is the batter. There's a all green batting helmet to go along with that orange Hyannis jersey. Shoots it on the ground to Thatch. Throws to second for one. Becerra's relay back to first is not in time. So Tanner Thatch letting up on that throw to second slightly, as Timo Becerra was not to the bag just yet, so they were just able to get the leadoff man on the fielder's choice.
That was a looping throw by Thatch. Becerra getting to the bag late, but making the grab and making the return throw, just not in time to get the speedy Eric Snow.
So now here's Dalton Bargo, tall left-handed batter out of Tennessee, hit 8 homers there this past summer. Digs in, facing Nard for the first time, and he spoils one into the net just to the left of our broadcast setup. As we're looking straight up the third base line, it's 324 to the left field corner at McKeon Park, 358 to the right field corner, 379 to straightaway center, and Dalton Bargo still looking for that first home run as a Harbor Hawk, as he takes a violent hack at the next pitch and fans right through it. Now down in the count 0-2 is the third baseman out of Tennessee, who played in 50 games there this past season, only started 27 of those. But a pair of solo home runs helped uplift his Volunteers over Evansville on June 9th to clinch a spot in the College World Series. 0-2 pitch, cut on and missed. So Gabe Nard picks up his first strikeout of the outing, second out of this first inning, getting Dalton Bargo to chase low and outside.
Really good at bat by Nard there, attacking Bargo, happy and afraid to put pitchers right down the heart of the plate and getting the swing and miss against Hyannis' third baseman.
So here's Michael DeTallo. Tall right-handed bat, hit hard on the ground to the infield. Jaron Advincula looks at the runner running to second, but will throw to first. Well in time to get DeTallo there. So more on the Kettleers infield and more from McKeon Park when we return in the top of the second inning. Still 0-0 on the Kettleers radio network. Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com. When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today. For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net. We played 1 from McKeon Park. 0-0 is the score as Grant Stevens will head back out to the bump. He will be facing the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Kettleers in this top of the second inning. Charles Davalon, Timo Becerra, Nolan Naraki, and Jaron Advincula, if necessary. As the final warm-up throw from Grant Stevens is in there, and the throw from Cannon Peebles goes down to second. Davalon will be leading off this second frame. Davalon getting a pinch hit opportunity 2 nights ago against Yarmouth Dennis. Pinch hit in the second spot for Nathan Hall, but struck out in his lone appearance at the plate. As he faces the lefty Grant Stevens, who goes into his windup to start off this top of the second inning. Davalon moves his arms above that pitch to enter into the top left part of the zone for a called strike 1. So Davalon behind 0-1. We mentioned his relative struggles at the plate in the last couple games, but as a starter has performed really well for Cotuit in the last few, as he fouls that one straight back and is down 0-2 in the count now. In his last 5 starts, 5 for 16 at the plate, has reached or driven in a run in each of his last 6 games played. Next pitch is rolled on the ground towards shortstop. Floor hopper into the glove to Eric Snow. Throw is heaved over the first baseman at the base of the Kettleers dugout. Charles Davalon beats that one out up the first base line. And Alex, it was tough to tell there as the left side infielders continue to communicate. Did Dalton Vargo cut off Eric Snow on that grounder?
Looks like he did, and Davalon just hitting it the other way, trying to test this defense, but just, I guess, a miscommunication on Hyannis, that left side of the infield, but works for the way for the Kettleers as Davalon with some great speed, forcing the errant throw, and Cotuit getting their first leadoff man on base today.
Yeah, it goes down as a hit for Charles Davalon, who takes a short lead at first. Stevens will throw to him there, and he's back on the bag. So we talked a little bit about Grant Stevens' journey an inning ago, but playing his 4th season of college baseball this past year at Oklahoma, 4.28 ERA, struck out 54 batters in just over 54 innings. As the batter is Timo Becerra, he sends a twisting fly ball towards the Kettleers bullpen, and it bounces out of play. But for Grant Stevens, he started off his career at the University of Pacific, playing 3 years there, and actually spending 3 years there but playing in the 2020 and 2021 seasons. Led the team in ERA in 2021, showing a lot of promise going into his junior season as he comes set from the 1-0 pitch to Timo Becerra. That'll actually make it 0-2 with the first pitch foul ball. Breaking ball low and outside to him there. So he's down in the count 0-2, but going up against Stevens for the first time, who threw an appearance in the summer of 2021 in the California Collegiate League. Threw 5 innings, allowed 1 run. That ended up being his final appearance for the next couple of years, as that one's rolled by Becerra up the third base line, but it just barely trickled out of play. Swinging bunt there from Becerra. Luckily for him, it goes foul, and he stays alive at 0-2. But for Grant Stevens, he was sidelined with an injury for the entire 2022 season, and then was named as the opening day starter for Pacific in 2023. Struggled in those first few innings pitched in his return from injury.
Stevens is needed a punch out and needed an out. He's gone back to the high fastball, goes back to it here against Becerra, and gets him to wave through it.
Timo Becerra goes down on strikes. Now it's Nolan Naraki, another right-handed hitter. Infield and outfield playing straight up. Charles Davalon, a short lead at first, being held on by Blake Cavill. And the first pitch to Naraki. Stevens dots a strike in on the outside corner. In the 2023 season, his return from injury went on to throw more than he did across 2020 and 2021 combined. Made 15 appearances, 87 total innings, and accumulated 3 complete games for the University of the Pacific. As Davalon takes off here on the 0-1 pitch, it's up high, throw down the second, but isn't intended. People thought he had him. Charles Davalon ends up beating it out, and it's the first stolen base of the day for the Kettleers. And second of the season for Charles Davalon.
Davalon got a great jump off the lefty Stevens. Always difficult for a base runner to read a pickoff move against the lefty, but Davalon getting a good jump and swiping his second bag.
1-1 pitch to Naraki. Breaking ball on the outer edge. Called a strike 2 by the home plate umpire. Naraki didn't like that call. Asked for a second opinion. As this at bat, more vital with that runner leading off at second base, as that one's turned on down the left field line, but just foul. Takes a couple hops into the glove of Dalton Vargo, who was behind the bag. Nolan Naraki was all over that breaking ball from Grant Stevens, but just trying to find a way to straighten it out. Still behind in the count 1-2.
Spirited. I was feeling around me. And then,
Stevens comes set. His 1-2 offering once more, finds the dirt, blocked by Cannon Peebles, who keeps it in front. On that breaking ball once more, and it's a 2-2 count to Naraki.
And some guy comes running in.
He has been out of the starting lineup for a couple days now, getting his first start since last Wednesday against Orleans. He went 0 for 4 with a strikeout and then was pinch hit for on Friday night in Wareham, or against Wareham at home, but he fouls this one off over our heads and out of play to keep the count at 2-2. So not playing against Yarmouth Dennis, not playing at Chatham on Saturday. Worked a pair of walks in that Wareham game and then went 0 for 1 with a strikeout, then was subbed out in that 6th inning. So now Grant Stevens will come set. Charles Davlon, an 8-step lead at second, and the 2-2 offering to Naraki. He swings and misses at strike 3. It's the 5th strikeout of the day for Grant Stevens. 5th swinging, and that was a crucial second out for him to fan a runner with a new runner on second.
Excellent job by Stevens today getting the punch outs. Had just 3 in 3 innings in his last outing. Now up to 5 here, and all 5 of his outs have come via the punch out.
His first pitch to Jaron Advincula goes in and out of the glove of Cannon Peebles on the breaking ball. Entered in on the front door, and Advincula is down 0-1. So Jaron Advincula, the best hitter in this lineup, hitting down at 9 in the order. 0-1 pitch. Davlon takes off, shuffling towards third. The throw from Peebles is not in time. Sliding in safely is Charles Davlon. Steals second, now steals third in this second inning.
Excellent base running by Charles Davlon, once again getting another great jump off of Grant Stevens, reading it completely and moving up 90 feet on his second stolen base.
And that's just so important because this is a guy in Advincula who can get on base in pretty much any way. As the 1-1 pitch, he slaps out it down the left field line and out of play just beyond the Hyannis dugout on the third base side. Advincula, a guy who we've seen time and time again beat out infield singles as he has accumulated now 40 hits this season. Nobody has more in the CCBL. Grant Stevens now pitching from the windup, takes a peek over at third. And now with the glove in front of his face, goes into his windup at 1-2. Advincula spoils that one foul down the third base line, and that one out of play again. So he's able to stay alive and continue to work a deep count against Grant Stevens. Will come set, and the next pitch he throws will be his 50th here in this second inning. Infield and outfield straight up. The 1-2 offering once more. Advincula moves this one into left field. It hangs up in the wind for Josh Tate, who settles under it and looks the grab for the third out of the top of the second inning. So the Kettleers bring a run all the way to just 90 feet away, but strand him there. Kettleers still in a 0-0 tie with the Harbor Hawks as we go to the bottom of the second here on the Kettleers Radio.
The Cape Cod League All-Star Game is just a few weeks away. Cheer on your favorite Kettleers as they square off with some of the best players on the Cape. This year's game will be played in Falmouth on July 27th. The gates open up at 1:30 p.m. ahead of the 6 o'clock first pitch. All-Star Game tickets can be found at www.capecodleague.com/All-Star Game. Or you can find out more information about the tickets at the Kettleers store.
The Kettleers baseball clinics are well underway in the summer of 2024, offering boys and girls ages 6 through 17 with the opportunity to learn from some of the most experienced coaches and some of the top college baseball players in the country. With no prior baseball experience necessary, the camps teach kids the fundamentals of baseball, as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character. With just a few weeks of camp left, time is running out. So to sign up, head over to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. Again, that's info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. We hope to see you there. Be a part of historic Lowell Park and support the Cotuit Kettleers by purchasing a paver engraved with your personal message to be placed in the new Walk of Champions. For more information, visit the Cotuit Kettleers website. Out of the second inning from McKeon Park, still 0-0 your score. Gabriel Nard back out there for a second inning of work. He faced 4 batters in the bottom of that first inning, and now he'll be facing Eddie Pelk, who gets his first start against the Kettleers this summer. He is a left-handed swinger who will dig in against Nard for the first time. He is out of Grand Canyon University and will take a fastball down in the zone for a called strike 1. Starting off his career at the University of San Diego, has eventually made his way to GCU, representing himself as a two-way player, left-handed pitcher out of the bullpen and outfielder. Now he takes another fastball low and away. 1-1 the count from Gabriel Nard to Eddie Pelk. Nard 1 strikeout, couple of groundouts, and a walk in that first inning. We'll be facing Pelk, Peebles, and Mason White at 5, 6, and 7. And Pelk will spoil that one foul high and out of play for third base side towards the parking lot. And he is now down on the count 1-2. Pelk was a .352 hitter this past season at GCU, 57 games. So he sends another high fly ball. And off of his hands, that will creep out of play and headed towards the parking lot once more. It appears that may have hit one of the tents down the left field lineup. It sounded like it could have been the hood of a car, but hope not. Next pitch misses down low to Pelk, and it's 2-2. But all the lights are on at Hyannis Park. Still pretty bright, though. Light gray clouds overhead, some blue clouds just above the trees in the outfield. But overcast skies in Hyannis, as it seemingly always is, and that ball is ripped straight back up the middle. It bounces off the mound, and Eddie Pelk has himself a single. That'll be his first as a Hyannis Harbor Hawk this season and his first start. And bringing up Cannon Peebles with a runner on and nobody gone.
Pelk got behind in that count 1-2 had to foul off a couple of pitches, laid off and the 1-2 offering outside, and they got a pitch that was low and outside in the zone, but just hit it hard right on the ground, right back up the middle. For his first hit.
Nard just threw back there to check on Pelk at first base. Cannon Peebles is the next batter. Has played in 7 games for Hyannis so far this season. Takes a pitch down low, and it's 1-0. 90 on the gun there from Nard. Peebles with 4 games for the Kettleers this past season. Playing in Cotuit. Has hit the leg of Gabriel Nard, who's up with a throw into first. He's got Peebles there for out number 1, but that one just scorched off of the, looked like right leg of Gabriel Nard, who is now just walking around the pitcher's mound, shaking it off. But scary moment there, Alex.
Peebles hit that hard right off the leg of Gabriel Nard, who was wincing in pain now. Just looking to walk it off as Peebles crushed that, hit a bullet right back at him. Nard didn't know where that ball was, but throws on the first for the first out. But a scary moment, and it, luckily for Cotuit and Gabriel Nard, everyone seems, and he seems to be okay.
Yeah, and he'll just take a few warm-up pitches here. Him and Grant J. Just trying to make sure everything's okay. And, you know, not the first time we've seen a play like that happen this year. And always scary when something like that does happen. But it's just amazing to see Eddie Pelk hit one maybe just about a foot to his right off the pitcher's mound just in that bat to go. And then Cannon Peebles, the next batter, squares him up.
That was 98 miles an hour right off the leg of Gabriel Nard. Definitely not something that it's going to feel good.
Definitely not. Mason White will take low and inside for ball 1. That's one of those plays where, you know, you're a bit more appreciative that you're on this side of the fence. 1-0 pitch is hit hard on a line down the left field line and foul. Mason White putting a charge into that ball, but it ends up in the Hyannis bullpen. Count evens up at 1-1 for Mason White. An infielder can really do it all. We've seen him catch behind the dish. Also seen him play the middle infield. That's where he is today. As he takes another pitch low and outside. This time called a strike 2 on the fastball from Nard. And Mason White now behind in the count. Has really struggled at the plate offensively in terms of the strikeout rate. Also at a 141 clip. Has 2 homers though. And now he reaches down the zone and shoots this one straight past Timo Becerra into center field. Charles Davalon is up with it, throwing it into the infield. No one's there to cut it off, so it'll roll off the mound to Grant J. But that is a single there off the bat of Mason White to put runners on the corners for Blake Cabell.
Because that ball was hit on the line right back up the middle, Eddie Pelk, the runner on second, had to go back to the bag and not risk being doubled off, but it chops down in the center field. Pelk, with that jump, just moves up 1 base. So Hyannis has runners on the corners with just 1 out in the inning.
So here's Blake Cabell. Middle infielders pinching the bag. Corners are playing in, and Cabell takes a strike 1. Well located there to get the first pitch strike for Gabriel Nard. Of course, Pelk was in scoring position after Cannon Peebles hit the ball straight back off of Gabriel Nard, and then he just moved up to third. The runners are on the corners, and now a check swing from Cavill, and he fouls it straight back. So a half-hearted swing there. Likely didn't go fully around, but well located by Gabriel Nard, and he's ahead in the count 0-2. Blake Cavill playing at first base today. 0-2 offering. Swats at it, sends a one-hopper to Naraki, goes home for one, and getting the lead runner there. Swiping the tag is Grant Carey to Eddie Pelk up at home, who is advancing and going all the way. And they pick up the second out of this second inning.
That's an interesting decision by Pelk. The ground ball that's hit right in front of him and put Naraki at third. Running on contact was Pelk, as Naraki fielding cleanly and making a strong throw right to Grant J for the second out.
So now the batter is Josh Tate, last man in the order that Gabriel Nard hasn't seen. He'll take a looping breaking ball for a called strike one. But Blake Cavill advancing to first on that fielder's choice, just heads up infield there from Naraki, who fielded that on the infield grass. It was off a high chopper, but Eddie Pelk was going all the way. Next pitch is a breaking ball down low. 1-1 to count to Tate. Tate gets his third straight start against the Kettleers, third straight start in the 9th spot in the order against Cotuit. He's coming off of an incredibly productive campaign at Georgia Southern. He'll take another fastball low and away, and it's 2-1. A .369 hitter there this past season, 59 games, good enough for him to earn all Sun Belt second team utility honors as a utility player. Not a guy who is designated the one single Griffin who takes another strike here, and it's 2-2, but someone who's really able to do it all, and he's done so this season for the Harbor Hawks. But now a big opportunity with runners on first and second. There are two gone in the inning. Rainfield and outfield playing straight up as he reaches out over the plate, grounds that one slowly to Jaron Advincula, who is upward at throwing the short toss to Tanner Thatch at first for out number 3. So Hyannis able to put a few runners on base so far in this bottom of the second inning, unable to bring anybody home though. And still a 0-0 score as we play 2 here from McKeon Field. And for the first time today, we'll check in with Adele Hoffman.
Hey, thanks, Joe. Yes, we just want to talk about the Barnstable Patriot Cup real quick, which was created in the year 2004, representing the rivalry between Cotuit and Hyannis. This cup celebrates the fact that Barnstable is the only town in Cape Cod that hosts 2 Cape Cod League teams, and Cotuit's currently leading 2-1, so tonight could clinch the win for us. Joe, Alex, what do you think we need to see out there tonight in order to clinch that Barnstable Patriot Cup win?
Hopefully some offense here pretty soon. I mean, 2 innings, no runs so far. Both of these teams getting hot starts against each other. So I think that kind of tells me that this could be a tight lead to the finish, but who knows? Got a lot of baseball to be played.
Definitely looking forward to more. It's not something that we've seen from these teams. You see 2 defensive power. Just Cotuit coming up to today. Getting in the 270. Hyannis is sitting third in the league. So these are 2 teams that like to score runs. So I expect this series there a time to break someone.
What are you looking for now?
Joe, I was hoping you would ask. I think we need to have maybe some tricky plays out there, take some risks, steal some more bases. Charles Davalon already starting us off with some of that. So I think if we just continue to take those risks tonight, it could mean a win for us.
I like the sound of that.
Me too.
We'll see if they decide to start to make some more risks as we move into the top of the 3rd inning. They'll have the top of the lineup up. Tanner Thatch will lead things off, facing Grant Stevens for the second time in this 0-0 ball game. 1 hit for Cotuit, 2 hits for Hyannis. First pitch to Tanner Thatch, misses up high. It's 1-0. So some more excellent stuff from Adele Huffman. Thank you for joining us. As always, excited to hear what more she has for us later on in this ball game. But Tanner Thatch here will take a strike and even up this count at 1-1. And Tanner Thatch dealing with this 1-1 count on Stevens, who shakes his head once, gets the sign he likes, and throws a pitch that Tanner Thatch fouls away once more towards the parking lot to elevate this count to 1-2. Tanner Thatch, needless to say, has been tearing the cover off the ball this summer with 26 hits, 8 of which have left the ballpark, 1 of which was here at Hyannis. Now he takes one down low and outside. It's 2-2. As Cotuit done a great job of playing well away from their home ballpark. 2-2 offering to Tanner Thatch is roped into straightaway center field. Running on it is Eddie Pelkin in the left center field alleyway. He'll pull down the first out.
Down back. Stevens once again attacking Jay on the outside portion of the plate, and Jay hitting a ball well in the straightaway center field, just one that he got underneath.
So now here's Grant Jay, was able to reach his first time up on a drop third strike, facing Stevens for the second time. But as mentioned, the Kettleers, with a strong road record, have 10 wins away from their home ballpark. The first pitch to Jay is fouled over all right shoulders and out of play. But Hyannis also on a tear at their home ballpark. Looking at this season series, Cotuit with a 4-2 win at Lowell Park. Then they came here to McKeon Park in a game that was rained out on July. It was early in July, but on July 7th, they played the makeup game as Jay sends a towering fly ball deep down the left field line, and that will find the trees, but twisting into foul territory, and he is back to 0-2. So nearly the 4th home run of the summer for Grant Jay, but needing to straighten it out. And with 1 gone in this inning, still a 0-0 ball game. Plenty of shadows casting their way across this infield as the sun peeks out over the home grandstand on the third base side. Grant Jay goes after a third pitch strike and swings through it. First strike 3. So the 6th strikeout of the day for Grant Stevens, and quickly there are 2 gone in this top of the 3rd.
Jay gave the 0-1 pitch a ride to deep left field, and we've seen that a couple of times from Grant Jay over the last few games where he's well out in front on pitches where he does crush him, just hooks him well foul.
Now here's Brandon Compton, was the 2nd strikeout victim of Grant Stevens today. 0 for 1 in the first offering from Stevens. It's a fastball. He slightly checks his swing. It's a called strike 1. Compton thought about swinging, and he's back to 0-1. Working quickly is Stevens. The 0-1 offering. Compton watches it all the way through once more. This time it's too far outside, and a 1-1 count to him. But Grant Stevens continuing to work incredibly quickly. Has that white paneled hat, bringing the glove just in front of it. And now Compton hammers this one to deep right center field, sending Pelk back to the fence. Looking up, that ball is bouncing into the fence. He rounds first, heads to second. It'll be a 2-out stand-up double for Brandon Compton as he takes it to the deepest part of the ballpark over the head of Eddie Pelk. And with 2 gone, the Cats will have a runner in scoring position.
You mentioned that Stevens had been working quickly, continues to work fast, pound the zone. This time he leaves an off-speed pitch right over the heart of the plate, and Brandon Compton makes no mistake, deposits it to the deepest part of the ballpark and takes 1 hop, kicks off the fence, and Brandon Compton finds himself standing on second with his 2nd double.
I think that was a loud contact, to say the least. Unsure how that ball didn't keep carrying it, get out of this ballpark. It would have been the 21st home run for the Kettleers away from Lowell Park. They have 32 home runs total. Just incredible to see the power production in these bats away from their home ballpark. Of course, Lowell Park being one of the bigger parks in this league. But Devin Taylor has enjoyed playing at other ballparks as well. Has a home run here at McKeon Park one time this season. That was a week and a half ago. He takes upstairs here and is ahead in the count, 1-0. So going back to that 14-4 loss against the Kettleers, that was amidst this home winning streak for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. And if you go back 4 days before that, as the 1-0 pitch to Taylor is rocketed to right field and deep. Going back is Kane Kessler. He will watch that one sail into the trees. A 2-run home run for Devin Taylor, his 2nd here at McKeon Park this season. And the Kettleers jump out to a 2-0 lead.
Joe, you talked about Devin Taylor liking a hit on the road. Well, he crushes his 5th home run and now 5 home runs with Grant Stevens had been cruising, just made a mistake to Brandon Compton and left another pitch right in the middle of the zone for Devin Taylor, who makes no mistake.
So we were just talking about the last time Devin Taylor was at the plate, as the first pitch to Easton Winfield is a fastball outside. in 114 games at Indiana in 2 seasons, has never gone 2 straight games without reaching base. Of course, going 0 for 4 on Sunday night, continues that streak into this summer as Winfield takes outside once more, and it's a 2-0 advantage for him. He struck out his last time out. That ended the top of the first inning. Stevens comes set, works into the windup, and Winfield takes a half-hearted swing there. Fooled by the 78-mile-an-hour breaking ball from Stevens low and outside to bring this count back up to 2-1. Working quickly as Stevens just trying to escape this third frame. Misses outside once more. 3-1 count to Easton Winfield. You go back to July 7th, as we were just talking about, though. Cotuit with a 7-4 comeback win at McKeon Park. The Harbor Hawks have not lost a game here at McKeon Park since then. 3-1 pitch to Winfield. Sky high just beyond the infield. Eric Snow back into shallow left center to get it. He'll be called off by the left fielder Josh Tate, who loses the hat but finds the baseball in his mitt for out number 3. So that puts an end to the top of the third inning. Devin Taylor with his 5th home run of the summer. It gives the Kettleers a 2-0 lead. We'll send it to the home half of the third. Cotuit with a newfound 2-0 lead on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
The top of the Hyannis order, just as the Kettleers did in the top of the third inning, will lead off in this bottom half of the third against Gabriel Nard. It'll be Kepley, Snow, and Bargo. 2 of those guys reaching base. Kepley on a walk, Snow on a fielder's choice. And the first pitch he sees from Nard. From the windup is a fastball that twists out of play to the left side over the home grandstand, just out of the reach of a young fan, trying to come down with a souvenir, but it winds up being a first pitch strike to Kane Kepley, who worked the walk his first time up, and that's really been more of the same for Kane Kepley throughout this 24 campaign. This pitch from Nard is a fastball. He's on for a called strike once, and that evens up at 1-1 on Kane Kepley here. His last at bat making his 33rd walk of the summer. Nobody is even close to that in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Second is Kyle Odis with 22. So seeing the ball really well is something that Kane Kepley does incredibly well, and he takes low and outside there to push this count to 1-2. Of course, it's been a long journey for Kane Kepley to make it all the way from South Rowan High School to the Cape League as the 1-2 offering misses him hanging on his grounding helmet. Counts 2-2 to Kane Kepley from Gabriel Nard. Won a state championship at South Rowan High School in 2022. Stole 33 bags that season. 2-2 pitch is a called strike 3. Dotted on the low and outside portion by Gabriel Nard. It's the 18th strikeout in the summer for Kane Kepley. 6th of the day for Gabe Nard in the first out of this bottom of the third.
Excellent location on the stick out from North Payne in the inside corner and getting the control. And Kane Kepley, like you mentioned, Joe, not a guy who strikes out easily, but Nard making quick work.
The first pitch misses upstairs to Eric Snow. It's 1-0, but yeah, you're right. We were talking about the last time we were here and Kane Kepley being a guy who walked on to the Liberty baseball team As that one is sent on a two-hopper, straight back up the middle and into center field for a base hit. So Eric Snow reaches in back-to-back at-bats, improves to 1 for 2 on the day.
Stopped as it rolled through in the center field. Eric Snow continues his monster campaign as his batting average continues to climb above 360.
Which is amazing to see from Eric Snow, who is a 2023 returner to this roster, or from the 2023 team. Somebody who got off to a slow start this summer, as they'll look back at first there at him. Snow is back in standing up, but returning this summer and recently named to the CCBL All-Star game. Has grown into a true leader on this team. And he takes his lead up first. The bat is let go by Dalton Bargo and hits off of the netting just to our right, just in front of that Kettleers on deck circle. It'll be a 0-1 count to Dalton Bargo, who actually made contact with that ball. Is that right? Fouled it away.
He did. Yeah. Pretty impressive stuff to foul a ball away and lose your bat in the process. Not the first time we've seen a player finish their at bat. Antonio Hyannis did it a few games ago at Lowell Park. Actually lost his bat and it ended all the way up on the home grandstand. Yeah, third base out.
Yeah, that was the first, too. Went over the netting, went over everything, and into the home grandstand. Mike Roberts had to run out of the dugout, deliver a brand new baseball bat to the lucky fan who came down with that. As the runner goes on the next pitch, it's a strike throw down from Granche. It was not in time. Eric Snow beats it out, picking up the stolen base, but sending Dalton Bargo back to 0-2 in the count.
Yeah, time.
So it's the 4th stolen base of the summer for Eric Snow. And with 1 gone, Hyannis trying to put a dent in that 2-0 Cotuit lead. Foul ball off the bat of Dalton Bargo, pushes the count to 0-2 once more. Continues to work this at bat. And someone at Tennessee this past season who was able to reach base in a lot of different ways, but mostly a guy who broke out with the power bat. .551 slugging percentage, has a tall upright batting stance, wide stance, slightly opened up with the all black barrel bat resting on his left shoulder. Now he lifts it up and swings and misses at strike 3. It looked like that top hand came off for Dalton Bargo, as we just saw him release the bat into the netting, but it turns out to be the 2nd strikeout of this inning for Gabriel Nard, 3rd of his 2nd start, and now 2 gone.
We've seen Dalton the strikeouts so far this summer for 13 games coming into today. 20 strikeouts, suspended his first 2 at-bats against Gabriel Nard, so 22 strikeouts. And hit 48 at-bats.
First pitch to Michael Vitalo, misses down low. Yeah, when you look at this Kettleers pitching staff, especially when on the road, they strike out more batters than anybody in the league. 151 going into this game. Next pitch misses in the lefty batter's box, and it's 2-0. Nice athletic stop there by Granche, who had to backhand it and go into the other box to get it. Ahead in the count 2-0 is Michael Vitalo. Guy who has made a seamless transition from his time at Dallas Baptist here to the Cape, and now sends a high chopper to Nolan Araki, who in the infield grass throws across the infield in time to get Vitalo there for the 3rd out of this bottom of the 3rd inning. So Hyannis able to put 1 runner in scoring position. They get a hit, no errors for Cotuit, and 1 man left on base as it's still 2-0. As we send it to the top of the 4th frame, you're listening to Cotuit Baseball here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990, their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Basic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Basic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Basic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Two nothing Cotuit leads as we play three from McKeon Park. 3 hits on the board for Cotuit, 3 hits on the board for the Harbor Hawks. Both teams stranding 3 runners on base as well. And a new pitcher is into the game for the Harbor Hawks. That's the end of the line for Grant Stevens, who goes 3 innings pitched, earns 3 hits. 2 earned runs, didn't walk anybody, struck out 6 batters. That makes way for Mason Martinez to enter into the game. Mitch Carricker's Harbor Hawks. It'll be his second appearance of the 2024 campaign. Has pitched 1 time, an inning and 2/3, 3 strikeouts, no hits. Who started off his summer in Danville in the Happy League. He appeared in 6 games there. Now just 2 hits, 3 walks, no earned runs. 11 strikeouts across 10 innings pitched. So that was clearly good enough to land him a spot on the Cape League roster. And here is his second appearance of the summer. He goes into his stretch and throws a fastball up and away to Charles Davalon. On that fastball, he misses 1-0. So Davalon is 1 for 1 with a single. He stole 2 bases after leading off the second frame with a single. Now he leads off the top of the 4th. Infield and outfield straight up for him as he takes a break. Low and outside to even up the count at 1-1. Martinez coming off of his second season at Virginia Commonwealth. He had a 4-0 record, a 2.98 ERA. As the black glove just in front of his chin from the stretch, he throws a 1-1 fastball that misses up and away once more, and Davalon in the driver's seat at 2-1. Continue to bring that high strikeout rate into summer ball this season as it struck out 41 batters this past year at VCU, walked only 19. Upright stance on the first base side of the rubber, throws a breaking ball, spoiled to the left side once more by Charles Davalon, headed towards the parking lot there. And the count 2-2 to the left-handed swinger, the Florida Gulf Coast, but making his way to Arkansas this upcoming season. Davalon from the right side with the blonde bat parallel to the ground. The 2-2 pitch upcoming. It's another breaking ball that finds the dirt. Eagles keeps it in front, and it's a full count now to Charles Davalon to start off the day for Mason Martinez. Martinez, a tall righty, 6'2", 210 pounds, working primarily from the stretch. His 3-2 offering. Davalon spoils it straight back once more. And you look at Cotuit getting that early 2-0 lead. This is a really important part of the season that both of these teams are going through. Really every single team in the CCBL, as there are now 4 games left for every single team before the All-Star break. And then after that, a couple of games before playing in-division play. And the 3-2 offering. This is low and outside to the lefty Charles Davalon, who's on his way to first for a second time today. This time it's on full count off.
Definitely a critical stretch of games, though, like you were talking about, Joe. And we're both of these teams heating up at the right point. Of course, we talked about Hyannis winning their last 6 games here at McKeon Park, and also for Cotuit. They've been on a hot stretch. The loss that they suffered against YD, just their first since the last time they played here, and that 14-4 loss back on July 11th.
Yeah, Hyannis' offense has also been stifled in the last couple of games as the first pitch misses low and outside to Timo Becerra. They lost 3-1 the other night against Bourne, and it was coming off of a pair of 6-0 victories right here at McKeon Park. So it's seemingly been 2 steps in the right direction, 1 to 2 steps in the wrong direction for Hyannis. As Timo Becerra throws the bunt, the ball skips in there, blocked by Cannon Peebles, has to locate it just to his right, but quickly scurrying up to second base is Charles Davalon with no throw. So a wild pitch advances a runner into scoring position. Timo Becerra, now with first base open at a 2-0 count, has an opportunity to swing away here. Martinez spinning the baseball in his bare right hand. Now it meets the black leather of his mitt. Takes a look back at second. Now he kicks and deals. Bunt laid down by Timo Becerra. Martinez out to get it. Bare hand throw to first. Bounces up there. And they got him. Timo Becerra thought he may have been safe at first as he tumbled over the bag. He thought maybe that Blake Cavill's foot came off the bag. They say it didn't, though, and it's good enough for out number one for Hyannis.
Becerra also collided with Cavill there, taking a jump to the plate, but Becerra doing his job, moving Cavill on at 90 feet as he stands on third. If Nolan Naraki, now you have two chances. Nolan Naraki, Jaron Adventure are two high contact guys to pick up a much needed insurance.
Looking to make it 3-0. Nolan Naraki struck out it last time. Now hammers a fastball on a chopper to the left side, just beyond that Hyannis dugout. So he was behind the counting. You know, Alex, we're just talking about, look at this part of the schedule. It becomes ultra important, especially when you look at the standings and see the amount of wins that separate the top three in this West Division. For so much for the teams at the bottom to play for. As the 0-1 pitch is cracked on the ground towards Dalton Bargo, who bobbles it once, but picks it up and throws to first in time to get Naraki there, as Charles Davallon will stay put just 90 feet away.
Bargo did a good job. Even though he popped the hit by Naraki, he's still looking back to Davallon on third base, giving an extra look and fired a strong throw over in time to nab Naraki for the second.
Jaron Advincula will be the batter with 2 outs and a runner on third. Martinez gets the sign from Peebles. Continues to peer in as some patchy clouds have continued to roll in, but where some thick overcast clouds at the start of the game have seemingly dissipated. It's pretty much partly cloudy. The sun was peeking out above the third base side just a moment ago, but now all those shadows cast across the infield are gone, and Jaron Advincula will take a fastball low and outside 1-0, but looking at the rest of this week for Cotuit, they'll play at Orleans tomorrow, which is fourth best team in the East. They're still trying to fight for position and some breathing room of Harwich, who they just recently passed. Now the 1-0 offering to Advincula. Martinez throws, and Advincula swats at it foul, headed towards the parking lot over the netting, and the count's now 1-1 to him. Then they'll return home to play against Falmouth and against Bourne. Those teams are 4th and 5th in the West Division, so Cotuit with an opportunity to make a lot of motion with a win or a loss in those games. Of course, this is an important one for Hyannis today, and the 1-1 pitch to Advincula. Spins it high down the left field line, and pop-up goes into foul territory. Shortstop Snow chasing after it, lunges for it, but it's just out of his reach, and Advincula will continue to fight up there at the plate with a 1-2 count. Some good effort there by everybody on the left side of the infield. Do you think that Dalton Bargo could have fielded that ball? Like he was in the right place for it.
Bargo ran a long way for that. Just looked like he either lost it or got called off by the shortstop Eric Snow, who went into a full extension and was still grab that long foul ball from Jaron Advincula.
So as we were mentioning, everybody has something to play for this week and next week. Every run counts, as with 2 outs in this inning. Cotuit not trying to leave one on third. Bounces a 2-hopper towards second. Mason White is up with it, and underhand flip to first. In time to get Jaron Advincula there for the 3rd out of this top of the 4th inning. So Cotuit brings a runner all the way up to 90 feet. And for the 2nd time in as many innings for Charles Davallon, he gets left on third base. So still a 2-0 advantage for the Kettleers. We send it to the home half of the 4th. Listening to Cotuit Baseball here on the Kettleers Radio.
Escape the summer heat at Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free cone on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
Willow Bend has been regarded as one of Cape Cod's and New England's premier private clubs and communities for over 25 years. Willow Bend is a family-friendly community right here in Cotuit. They strive for a fun and relaxed lifestyle with good times and good friends. Discover all that and more at Willow.
Eddie Pelk will lead off this bottom of the fourth inning for the Harbor Hawks. So far today, he's 1 for 1. Knocked the first base hit of the day for the Harbor Hawks to lead off the second inning. He will lead off this fourth frame once more. First pitch from Gabriel Nard is on the outside corner for a called strike one on the breaking ball. Throwing to Eddie Pelk, who's in his Cape League debut today. Guy who represents himself at GCU as an outfielder, as a relief left-handed pitcher, and now he'll take one down in the dirt to even up the count at 1-1. The guy who started off his career at the University of San Diego was listed as a left-handed pitcher there and an outfield for the Toreros in 2021, redshirted in the 2020 season. Nard into his windup for the 1-1 offering, and it's down beneath the knees of Pelk. It's 2-1. At San Diego his first year, Pelk 9 appearances at a 6.92 ERA, made 13 2/3 relief innings appearances as the next running was legend called a strike two. 2-2 the count to Pelk now. He's one of those guys who immediately after playing high school baseball, for which he graduated in 2019, played in summer ball right after that. Now he hammers this one on a two-hopper to Nolan Araki, who waits back for it and now throws deep from the third base hole. And it's in time there to get Eddie Pelk to start off this bottom of the fourth inning. Boy, nice play there by Araki. Wait back on that ball. It was a hard hit ball by Pelk, but he fields it, makes it look easy for out number one.
Really nice play from Naraki up there at the hot corner. And seen a lot of ground balls worked by Gabriel Nard back-to-back. Grounders hit to Naraki at third base. He's played good defense so far today.
So we're just talking about the summer ball experience from some of these guys on this roster for Hyannis. Cannon Peebles, who just took a ball one low and outside there. Also with plenty of summer ball experience, 13 games in the pinstripes for Cotuit last year. But exchanging those for some light blue pinstripes at Hyannis this summer, and pops that one up down the left field line. It will creep out of play. So a 1-1 count to Cannon Peebles, who hit 179 with 7 hits, double, 5 RBIs for the Kettleers last summer. Went on this season after being at NC State with the transfer portal and went to Tennessee, and he spoils another one foul over the home grandstand to bring the count to 1-2. He's listed as the everyday man behind the dish for Tony Vitello's Volunteers this year, but went on to play in 54 games. 30 of those were starts. Started off the season well, but then fell back and fell out of the starting rotation. As the next pitch skips just beyond home plate, and it's a 2-2 count to Cannon Peebles. He went on this past year to hit .216, had 116 opportunities at the plate where he had 25 base hits. Pair of homers as he's still looking for his first one here on the Cape this summer. The 2-2 offering goes inside. He backs up out of the way of it. And the count run full by Cannon Peebles, who faces Gabriel Nard for the second time. Grounded out to Nard his last time off, but it really didn't look like your average 1-3 putout as he hit it 98 miles an hour off the left leg of Gabriel Nard. 3-2 pitch, hammered on the ground to the right side, just past Tanner Thatch, but in foul territory. Well, Mike Roberts was excited at the start of last summer to get to see Cannon Peebles get some time behind the dish, where he didn't catch a whole lot at NC State, but hit at a .310 clip as a freshman. Of course, took his talents to Tennessee for his sophomore year. Now he sends a one-hopper on the ground towards Jaron Advincula, who's quickly up with it, and an easy throw to first to get Cannon Peebles there, who goes back to 0 for 2. And there are 2 gone in this bottom of the fourth.
Now, Harbor Hawks have worked deep so far against Norton in this inning. It's been bearing down, working and getting weak contact and with back-to-back groundouts.
Yeah, back-to-back weak contact outs worked by Gabriel Nard. He's retired 4 straight batters, and now Mason White digs in. He's 1 for 1. Single back in that second frame, and the first pitch he sees is breaking ball. Looked like that was just above the knees. Grant J will ask for a second opinion from the home plate umpire, but he said that was too low, and it's 1-0. So Mason White with an upright batting stance from the left side of the box, facing the right yard, will take another fastball outside. This time it's called a strike one. 1-1 from Gabriel Miller. It faces White for the second time, but now is the only 2023 Harbor Hawk to remain on his 2024 roster, as this one's hammered right to Tanner Thatch, snared on a one-hopper by him. The underhand flips to Nard. And boy, what a play by Tanner Thatch to end the bottom of the fourth inning. It's White hits it on a line straight to him, but he gloves it there. Picks up the third out of that bottom of the fourth inning. So 3 up, 3 down, go the Harbor Hawks in the fourth. Still with a 2-0 lead. And before we send it to the fifth, we'll check in once more with Adele Hopper. What do you got for us, Adele?
Thanks, Joe. Yes, with playoffs approaching at a quick pace, we are 4 games away from clinching a spot for the Kettleers in playoffs. Right now, Wareham and Cotuit are battling it out for that top seed in the playoffs. And let's look at how we got to this point. So we started out with that win, followed by 2 losses, but then in June we had our 6-game winning streak. And in July, we've had 10 wins and 1 tie, ending with a 19 win, 10 loss, and 1 tie final score. So hopefully we can add on another win tonight and clinch that win for the Barnstable Patriot Cup and set us up a little bit better for success leading into playoffs.
That's for sure. You don't want that last game in August against Hyannis to be in the second game for the Barnstable Patriot Cup this year. Of course, with only 5 games in between the division, nobody can tie. So it has to be, of course, it was 6 games, so you could tie 3 games to 3. But yeah, it's exciting to see how close this team has come to be able to get into the playoffs. I mean, it was such a slow start for Cotuit, a relatively slow start in the first couple of weeks of the season, that they reached first place for the first time just a week ago, and it's just incredible to say based off of what we've seen the past few years.
And it was certainly a slow start. Still not start in the month of June. And then we might go for the 1-3 start the month of July. But as the month has continued to have along in July, you've seen the Kettleers play their best baseball, first a 17-1 record over the last 10 games. So like you guys have said, definitely good to see this again.
Yes, it definitely seems like they're all warming up to each other and learning how to really play on each other's strengths. So excited to see the rest of this game. Back to you, Joe and Alex.
Thanks, Adele. And you've really been able to see that chemistry between all of these guys in the field and just around practice, around the dugout, continue to grow as the summer progresses. And Tanner Thatch, the leadoff batter, will lead off this time of the 5th inning. Take a breaking ball at the bottom of the zone for a ball strike 1. Tanner Thatch entering this at-bat is 0 for 2, but it's his first at-bat against the new pitcher, the righty, Mason Martinez. The 0-1 pitch. Thatch nearly swings as he opened up his hips, thought about checking the swing, but takes it down low. It'll be a 1-1 count to Tanner Thatch, and we know the difference in his production against right-handed pitchers compared to left-handed pitchers, and it's night and day. All of his 8 home runs this season coming against righties, as he shoots this one deep down the right field corner, won't leave the yard, but it'll creep down towards the right field corner as Ketley goes for it, throws it into second base, tagged by Eric Snow, is not on time as Thatch slides in feet first with a leadoff double.
Power once again on display for Tanner Thatch, and just a prototypical swing that we've seen from Thatch all year. Got a pitch, that deep drive, shoots it right down the right field, and then the speed of Thatch hustling it out for his 5th double so far this campaign.
His 13th extra base hit of the season, 27th total. And just what the Kettleers needed, leadoff man in scoring position, just as they did in that 4th inning, but they weren't able to bring him home. So now Grant J is the batter, facing Martinez for the first time, who looks at second, and now throws a breaking ball that Grant J takes low and away for a called ball 1 at 83 miles an hour. Grant J reached in the 1st inning on a strikeout, then struck out swinging in the 3rd. Right-hander awaits for Martinez to come set. Now he waves that bat over his right shoulder. The 1-1 pitch misses low and outside. Actually, a 1-0 pitch that misses, and it's 2-0. Cannon Peebles walks out in front of home plate, just going palms down to the ground, saying Martinez to calm down, settle in, try to hit the box, and all you got to do is really throw strikes and trust your defense, likely what Cannon Peebles is thinking right here for a guy in Martinez who's struggling to find the zone against Grant J. 2-0 pitch. Bounced in front of home plate. Out to get it is Peebles. Thatch running to third. There'll be no throw as they'll be in there standing up. And the Kettleers will have a runner just 90 feet away with nobody gone. Heads up base running there from Tanner Thatch, who's not a guy who can really blow you away on the base pass. Able to advance, and a good ball read there. A good dirt ball read there from Tanner Thatch, who just improved to 1 for 3. Grant J trying to do the same, but he'll take low and inside, and that'll be ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk to Grant J for Mason Martinez. Kettleers will put runners on the corners with nobody gone.
This is an extremely important situation for the Kettleers to capitalize on. You've seen Charles Davalon get stranded at third base twice in this game. Despite their winning ways over the last 10 games, they've continued to struggle with runners in scoring position. So far tonight, they've hit 1 for 6. So luckily, they have Brandon Compton digging in, who continues to swing a hot bat.
Lefty takes a fastball down low, 1-0. They'll bring the corners in here. Dalton Vargo, about even with the bag at third, shaded about 8 feet off the line. First baseman Blake Cabell is holding Grant J on at first. The middle infielders are playing back, and the 1-0 pitch to Compton is swung at and missed. For strike 1, 90 on the gun from Martinez. So a couple ticks up from the starter, Grant Stevens, who is up into the high 80s. Brandon Compton, a guy who's right behind Jaron Advincula, his 29 base hits, tied for 7th in the CCBL. 1-1 offering is fouled straight back into the screen. They'll do it once more at 1-2 with Brandon Compton. Already with a double today. He doubled and then was batted home on Devin Taylor's home run. So that part of the lineup, as you were just talking about, Alex, doing all the damage so far today. There are 4 hits on the board for the Kettleers, 3 for the Harbor Hawks, and they lead it 2-0. Next pitch to Compton. It squeezes away from Peebles. Runner moves up to second. That's Grant J, but Tanner Thatch will stay put at third as it bounced about 10 feet away from Peebles to his left. So a nice job by Tanner Thatch to stay put there, and the Kettleers will put 2 runners in scoring position with nobody gone. So that was a big play there as Hyannis squandering any sort of chance to get a double play ball here. Now they'll bring both of the middle infielders in, so everybody playing up on the infield grass with runners on second and third. Compton sends a high pop-up down the left field line, twisting over the Hyannis dugout, and that will meet a couple of fans in their lawn chairs just above that blue fence down the left field line, and Compton will stay alive at 2-2. Clouds have blown back in over McKeon Park. Lights are still on, skies are darkening, sun setting down the left field line. The 2-2 pitch to Compton. He takes low and outside on the breaking ball, and the count will be full to him. So first base, of course, open for Mason Martinez if they choose to not want to throw anything over the heart of the plate to Brandon Compton, who's one of the hottest hitters in this Kettleers lineup, as mentioned earlier. 14 for 29 going into this ball game, but make that 15 for 31 as he's 1 for 2. Now he drives this one. Field it deep. You can kiss that one goodbye. A 3-run bomb over the scoreboard for Brandon Compton, his 5th home run of the summer, and the Kettleers jump out to a 5-0 lead. Just a missile off the bat of Compton.
I don't think you can hit a ball harder if you try. Brandon Compton, including Mason Martinez. Martinez running back with Compton. Part of the plane. Boy, did Brandon Compton not miss it. His 5th home run. RBIs 23, 25. Is that ball just tattooed?
It jumps into the team lead in RBIs. Leapfrogging Tanner Thatch for the number 1 spot, and the first pitch to Devin Taylor is upstairs with the fastball. He already has a home run in today's game. That was back in the 3rd inning. 1 for 1 with a 2-run bomb, also has walked. Mason Martinez coming set with the black glove in front of his face. 1-0 offering to Taylor. Just barely gets a piece. Fouls it off of Cannon Peebles. A stinger for him as he walks it off of the third base line. Home plate umpire will give him an extra few seconds as it'll be a 1-1 count to Devin Taylor. So how about this 1-2 punch in the middle of the Cotuit lineup? 3 and 4, Brandon Compton, Devin Taylor, both with home runs today. Brandon Compton now 2 for 3 on the day with a double and a home run. That one 101 miles an hour off the bat, traveled 388 feet. That's kind of hard to believe because 388 feet does not sound right.
That it does not.
It's hard to believe that it goes over the scoreboard at McKeon Park is just 388 feet. And I mean, 358 feet to the right field corner. It's not the first time that we saw a home run ball go over the right field fence and have the total feet number be maybe a little bit off. As the next pitch misses low and inside to Devin Taylor. And it's 2-2. That one hitting off of our crowd. If you can hear it, we hope you can.
It's crazy to think that Devin Taylor's first home run went only 401 feet compared to the Brandon Compton blast. Both balls were crushed, but Compton was tattooed that.
2-2 to Taylor. Rocketed on the ground towards second base. Tough play for Mason White, but deep into the hole. He fields it and throws to first for out number 1. So amazing to think all that's happened in this inning, Alex. Right there is the first out of the top of the 5th.
Compton and Taylor now even in home runs this season, both with 5. So they've had this newfound duo in the middle of the Kettleer lineup, Brandon Compton, Devin Taylor, having a lot of success.
22 of the 34 Cotuit home runs this summer coming away from Lowell Park. First pitch to Easton Winfield misses below his knees, and it's 1-0. We were talking about going into this game, Alex, the differences between these two teams when playing at home and playing on the road. Likely some of the best teams in those categories. As it's a foul ball off the bat of Winfield to even this count at 1-1. That one towards the Cats on deck circle. But Cotuit 10-4-1, the second best record only to YD on the road this season. Hyannis with the best home record in the CCBL this year. But Cotuit, it really hasn't been the bats that have exploded at McKeon Park. Pitching-wise, they performed really well. The next pitch to Easton Winfield is low and outside, and it's 2-1. They've hit just .210 as a team at McKeon Park this season. 11 runs scored in 2 games, so add the 5 to today's total. 3 for 18 going into this game with runners in scoring position at McKeon Park. So they've actually struggled offensively as this one's popped up down the left field line, and under it is the left fielder Josh Tate, who pulls it down for out number 2.
Response for Martinez after surrendering the home run to Compton. Hit the ground out of Taylor and get a fly ball off the bat of Easton Winfield.
Now a mound visit by Hyannis head coach Mitch Carricker. More on that. Hyannis defending home field incredibly well against Cotuit in their 2 games. Have hit .306, 18 runs scored, 7 hits with runners in scoring position. But one stat that sticks out: the team that's been able to score the first run in each ball game here at McKeon Park this season has gone on to win the game. So Mason Martinez's day will be done. The Harbor Hawks will hit their bullpen in this top of the 5th inning. Cotuit getting the first scores in this ball game. They lead it 5-0 here in the midst of the top of the 5th frame. A new pitcher enters the game for the Harbor Hawks. We'll let you know who it is when we make a return here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
Dominic Carbone is the new pitcher into the game for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. It's Mason Martinez's day is done. He goes an inning and 2/3. Looked pretty good through that fourth inning, but allowed a double, a walk, and then a 3-run shot off the bat of Brandon Compton to start off his fifth frame. Got 2 quick outs on Devin Taylor and Easton Winfield, but now with Charles Davalon, who's also had a good day at the plate so far, digging in. They'll look the bullpen for Dominic Carbone. Out of Coastal Carolina, a left-handed pitcher, 5'10", 176-pounder, who is going up against Charles Davalon to start off his day. But so far this summer for the Harbor Hawks has an 8.22 ERA, 7 2/3 innings, has walked 6 and struck out 7. Charles Davalon will be the batter, has already reached first base twice today, once on a single, once on a walk. And the first pitch from the lefty Carbone is a fastball on height for a called strike 1. But Charles Davalon, going into this ball game, hadn't started a game since Friday night at Wareham. As a starter, has been able to perform incredibly well. This is 15th game played this summer in the 0-1 pitch. Shot over the head of Mike Roberts down the third base line. Rattles off the bottom of the fence, and it's 0-2 to Charles Davalon. Couple of multi-hit games this season. Most recently, last week at YD. Now he goes after a fastball up high, comes up empty for strike 3. So 3 pitches from Dominic Carbone to settle things down in the top of the 5th frame and ending that inning. But not before the Kettleers get 3 runs on Brandon Compton's 3-run bomb and take a 5-0 lead. And when we come back in the bottom of the 5th frame, my broadcast partner, Alex Rocco, will take over the play-by-play from here on in. So don't go anywhere as you're listening to Cotuit Baseball here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Each week, the Cape Cod Baseball League is honoring those who served with Red Shirt Fridays. Every home team on Fridays wear red Cape League uniforms and an Army camouflaged hat. For every Friday game at Lowell Park, the Kettleers are honoring a hero of the game presented by the Massachusetts State Lottery. For exclusive Red Shirt Friday gear like fitted player hats, head to the Kettleers store at the ballpark. We hope you can join us for a Red Shirt Friday at Lowell Park this season. For over 40 years, Vollmer & Son Construction has proudly served its community, providing a wide range of construction services, from bathroom renovations to complete home remodels. When you work with Vollmer & Son, you are being taken care of by natives of Cape Cod who support the community by using local suppliers and subcontractors. Vollmer & Son Construction, a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Looking to connect with the right business? ZoomInfo's got you covered. With a database of over 100 million company profiles, they provide top-notch data to boost sales and marketing growth. Since 2007, ZoomInfo's B2B data quality has ensured that businesses have the best intelligence right at your fingertips. Discover more at zoominfo.com and see how you can get connected today.
Gabriel Nard's day is done here at McKeon Park. He goes 4 innings, 3 hits, no runs, walked, battered, and struck out 3 while tossing 59 pitches. As he gives way to the new arm Colin McKay, coming out of bullpen for the second time. As the Kettleers, he gets set to square off against the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. As the Kettleers currently leading 5-0 over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. I'm Alex Rankin alongside by Joe Pratt. And Joe, once again, another really good start for Gabriel Nard.
Yeah, another great start for him. I mean, his last time out holding the Firebirds to no hits through 4 innings. I mean, you can't really expect him to go out there and do that every time, but today 4 scoreless innings, allowed just 3 hits, and really was working well and getting ahead of batters incredibly well. And that's something that Colin McKay is likely going to have to rely on, because he's a guy who is not going to blow you away with his fastballs and off-speed stuff. Going to mainly be a guy who's trying to dot it around the box right around 90 to 92. So he's going to play starting with the bottom half of this lineup and then flipping back to the top of the lineup, trying to keep things calm and keep them off the base pass with this 5-0 lead for Cotuit.
McKay so far this year, 2 1/3 innings pitched has allowed just one hit. That one hit did leave the ballpark 2 runs that walked the batter and struck out 2. As the righty out of the Kettleers bullpen gets set to face the left-handed hitting first baseman Blake Cavell. His 0 for 1 did reach on the fielder's choice back in the second inning. As McKay kicks and deals his first pitch at the letter. Called strike 1. Cavell playing in his 8th game this summer with Hyannis. Hitting just 132. There's the first baseman who swings and pops this one foul down the left field line. So McKay comes out of the bullpen, throws 2 strikes, both coming which at the top of the zone. As Blake Cavell finds himself down the count 0-2. McKay rocking the high sides. Now his gloves hit the belt, kicks and deals the 0-2 pitch, head on the line, right to Tanner Thatch. First base and makes the stab. Takes it to the bag himself as Blake Cavell is down for the second time after a 3-1 assisted count.
Another great play by Tanner Thatch at first base. You remember to end the bottom of the 4th inning, had to scoop one up on a one-hopper forehand grab. That one pretty similar on the forehand. One hopper, hard hit off the bat of Blake Cavell. And he fields it seamlessly on to first to get that first out of this bottom of the 5th.
Now it's Josh Tate. First pitch to him, an off-speed pitch from the left-hand hitter's batter's box. So McKay starts Tate out with the first pitch ball. The Harbor Hawks left fielder, 0 for 1, bounced out to end the second inning to a grounder to Jaron Advincula at second. That's a 1-0 pitch, taken for ball 2, high and in tight. Tate playing in his 13th game this summer, hitting .351 coming into today, 13 for 37. As the 2-0 pitch, strike number 1. Tate, the threat on the base pass, has swiped 5 bases already through 12 games. It's only been thrown out once. Saw him steal a couple of bases against the Kettleers the last time these 2 teams squared off. Some hits of fly ball. Easton Whitfield giving it a long run, but will let that ball fall. Nice effort by Whitfield to run all the way down that right field line here at McKeon Park, and a lot of foul ground down that right line.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's where the bullpen is. That's where all the guys who are thinking they might come into this game are stretching down that fence, sitting along the bench there. So they all kind of had to scurry out of the way, but yeah, you're right. A lot more foul territory down the right field line than maybe equal than down the left field line, as there's also a bullpen in left field. But well, this is one of those fields where you see the foul territory expand beyond both of the bases on the lines and then quickly narrow the gaps towards the corners.
McKay kicks and deals the 2-2 pitch. McKay cruises Tate on an off-speed pitch low and outside as Josh Tate disagrees with the call, but he's down on strikes for the first time today and quickly turned on.
Yeah, well, we mentioned he's not a guy who's going to blow you away with high velocity stuff. Going to have to hit his spots, and that was a perfect spot right there, low and outside, dotted on the corner. It was also a great frame by Grant J. That likely will go unnoticed there, but 2 quick outs from McKay and a great start for him.
Now it's back to the top of Hyannis' lineup. Kane Kepley looks at a first pitch strike. Kepley digging in for his 3rd plate appearance today is 0 for 1. Walk to the in. His night in the bottom of the 1st and struck out looking to lead off the bottom of the 3rd. As McKay, the righty, kicks and deals. Dots it into the glove of Jay and back-to-back strikes for Cullen McKay. As he's tossed 10 pitches and 8 strikes, and that's something that he's done a lot better in outing 1 to outing 2, is getting ahead of hitters. Top 5. McKay, the righty out of UVA, takes a long look in. Now kicks and deals the 0-2 pitch. Kepley stays alive, fouls that straight back over the press box. McKay, coming off of his 2nd year at UVA, did enter the transfer portal this summer, announced his destination as Coastal Carolina. For the sophomore season at UVA, saw him go 2-1 with an 8.45 ERA in 13 appearances as the 0-2 pitch on the inside corner. Grant J. Colin McKay thought that was strike three, but it's called ball one. Just thought it was a little bit too far inside as Kettleers stays alive.
This is a guy with definitely a good eye. I mean, going into this game, more walks than second place man with 20 has 32.
Kettleers stays alive once again. Another foul ball in the same exact spot.
But a guy who can clearly see the ball really well. I mean, he worked his 33rd walk and as the leadoff man in the first inning. Going into this game, he's has the highest walk rate on the team, but also the highest walk rate in the league. 23% of his at-bats result in a walk. Pretty incredible.
Just 18 strikeouts and 101 at-bats so far this summer. Kettleers looking to keep this bottom of the fifth alive. The 1-2 count with 2 outs. McKay deals. That's it. The Kettleers infield. Camping underneath it is Timo Becerra, who makes the play for the third and final out. So Colin McKay comes out of the bullpen in relief of Gabriel Hart. Works a 1-2-3 bottom of the fifth. As we head to the top of the sixth, with Cotuit leading a man is 6-0 here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
Cotuit Library. Since its founding in 1874, the Cotuit Library has served its community with an expansive collection that continues to grow. Their staff is dedicated to serving all ages, offering youth events weekly. The library has dozens of events scheduled throughout the summer, so be sure to head to the website at cotuitlibrary.org to see what's coming up next. The library is located right off Main Street. The Cotuit Library, a proud sponsor of the Kettleers.
7, 8, and 9 do up according to it here in the top of the sixth, and we're playing under the light here at McKeon Park. This time it's coming out to the mound, working in his first full inning. Came out of the bullpen, threw 3 pitches, got 3 strikes against Charles Davalon. Mr. Mason Martinez struggled as he went inning in 2/3 and 1 2 innings. All 3 coming up. Home run of the summer for Brandon Compton. Now it's Becerra, the righty, digging in against the lefty Carbone. Becerra today, 0-for-1, struck out swinging in the second, laid down a sacrifice bunt. Got Charles Davalon over to third base. 2 innings ago, as Carbone starts him out with a first pitch ball, 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Carbone struggling in his first 3 outings of the season. In those 3, 2 2/3 innings pitched, allowed 8 hits, 7 runs. Walked 5 and had a 23.63 ERA. Has bounced back since our year. 2-0. The lefty kicks and deals. Becerra hits this one on the ground to the shortstop, Snow, who feels only his throw in plenty of time. Then have Becerra for the first out.
Well, you've seen the Kettleers' success kind of coincide with the other guys on the team in the lineup having success at the plate. Timo Becerra also one of them going into this game with a 4-game hitting streak, hits in 5 of his last 6 contests. But so far today has been able to make a difference with that sacrifice bunt in the 4th inning, but is 0-for-2 over the.
No, it's Nolan Araki, the guy who's 0-for-2 today. Dominic Carbone starts him out with the first pitch that's taken for ball 1. It's low and outside. Rocky coming back into the lineup for the first time in a couple of games. Really seen Mike Roberts rotate players on that left side of the infield as Rocky shoots a foul ball down the first base line. Luke Hansen, Timo Becerra, Tyler Cerny. This time it's Naraki at third, Becerra at short as Hansen and Cerny get the night off.
It's great to have those depth pieces like Becerra, like Hansen, and not really depth guys, as everybody has kind of been putting in equal time in the field, other than Jaron Advincula, who's on deck. But this is something that not a lot of these guys are used to, playing games every single day, going to the ballpark, working out every single day. And
2-1 is the count as Naraki takes the 1-1 offering outside.
but I think that just being able to have a lot of guys who are able to play that position, give a guy a few days off, or maybe struggling at the plate, and get him back into the lineup. But for Mike Roberts, he's still looking for Naraki to put in some better contact at the plate, has been able to put in good at-bats like this one, but let's see if his return to the lineup, if he can make a difference.
Rocky up in the count 3-1 here. His last start came back on July 19th in the game against Wareham. Went 0 for 1, walked twice. He was subbed out after the 6th inning. 3-1 pitch to Naraki. The fly ball, it's hit in the short center field, but it'll be grabbed by the second baseman, Mason White. So 2 quick outs for Dominic Carbone as he's retired the first 3 Kettleers he's faced.
That's really exactly what they needed to do, because the start of the outing for Mason Martinez, he allowed an immediate base runner who got into scoring position, got to third, and then in the start of the 5th inning allowed a double, so he really didn't have any time to settle in. So for Dominic Carbone to get the final out of that 5th and now to settle into this 6th inning, the Harbor Hawks are hoping that their bats can awaken as that one runs up inside on that Advincula.
At first pitch to Jaron Advincula for Dominic Carbone, runs inside and blunts him. Carbone patting himself, saying, "Now it's on me." But Jaron Advincula, it's okay. He gets stroked by the pitch and will make the walk down to first, so he reaches for the first time today.
A scary moment. One of the trainers will just go out there and make sure he's okay, because he just barely grazed the top of his helmet. Went back to the backstop. Not sure if it really made any other contact with anything other than the helmet, but obviously a lot of padding on the inside of that helmet. Hopefully lessened the blow for him, but he's all smiles at first base, and they'll have a base runner with 2 gone.
That's typical Jaron Advincula, the guy who is looking and playing on the diamond and usually has a smile on his face. So good to see Advincula okay, as now it's back to the top of the Cotuit order. Tanner Thatch takes it over. Thatch today 1 for 3. Started the day 0 for 2, but blasted another double in his last at-bat. He crushes this one into right field, into normal depth as Kane Kettler runs in, makes the grab for the 3rd and final out. The 2-out hit by a pitch of Jaron Advincula does not come back to bite Dominic Carbone as he gets the fly out of Tanner Thatch. We head to the bottom half of the inning, with Cotuit leading Hyannis 5-0 here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
For breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com. When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
It's been all Kettleers through 5.5 here at McKeon Park, as they still lead 5-0 as they're getting set. Cullen McKay comes back to the mound for his 2nd inning. He faces Eric Snow, Dalton Barger, and Michael Vitalo, 2-3 hitters in the Hyannis order. So McKay makes his final warm-up toss. Branch Jay was a strike down to second base as Eric Snow digs in for the 3rd time today. Snow 1 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice back in the 1st inning and picked up a single in the 3rd. Snow with the highest average on this Hyannis team. Also named to the All-Star game earlier this week. The shortstop hitting .365. Well, he's been a threat at the top of this Harbor Hawk order. Is his first pitch hit popped out of play over our heads directly. Our producer Jimmy Chantillis was getting scared, thought that ball was going to land right on our setup.
Oh, you were ready for it. Wasn't scared.
I bet if a foul ball was hit to us, Jimmy would make the play and protect the equipment.
There's nobody I would rather have right here to make a play with a foul ball coming down on us. Thank you, Jimmy.
One from McKay. Another high towering pop up hit by Snow. Is this one going right to Tanner Thatch at first base? Who makes the grab for the first out?
9 straight outs for the Kettleers across Gabriel Nard and now Colin McKay's appearance. This man relief was Eric Snow on a single back in the 3rd inning, but we just keep forcing some weak contact out of these Harbor Hawks hitters, and their bats continue to fall silent, having hit just 3 base knocks in this game, all of which coming in the 2nd and 3rd innings.
That last hitter to reach was Eric Snow, so now it's Dalton Bargo, the 3-hitter. The lefty's 0 for 2 today with a pair of strikeouts, both swinging. Kettler pitching staff with 4 strikeouts so far through 5 and a 3rd innings pitch. McKay kicks and deals a big cut on and miss by Bargo. Bargo hitting .208 in 14 games with Hyannis. 10 for 48, does have a home run, 6 RBIs as McKay kicks and deals the 0-1 pitch. A high foul ball over the press box. So another 2 quick strikes from Colin McKay. He's up to 18 pitches, 15 strikes, just 3 balls from the righty who is transferring to Coastal Carolina.
Just more of the same from what we saw from Colin McKay last summer, who walked 6 batters in nearly 11 innings.
McKay peers in, kicks and deals the 0-2 pitch. I look for a breaking ball. Got him looking. Dalton Bargo's tough day at the plate continues. He's now 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts.
Just such a great pitch there from Colin McKay. Throws the fastball a couple times to get ahead of Dalton Bargo and then draws that swing and foul ball, I guess it was, and then goes back with the breaking ball perfectly placed on the outside part of the plate. Nothing Bargo can do with that, and he strikes out for the 3rd time today.
So now it's a designated hitter, Michael DiTallo, the first pitch to him, taken for ball 1 high and outside. DiTallo, the righty, 0 for 2. Ground out to Jaron Advincula at 2nd, and 1 to Nolan Araki at 3rd. Those coming in the 1st and 3rd innings as he's now here in the 6th. As he hits this one in a right field, running on in is Easton Winfield toward the right field line, making the grab for the 3rd and final out as Winfield loses his hat in the process and makes the catch to end at the bottom of the 6th. So Colin McKay comes out of the bullpen. He retires the first 6 hitters he faces as the Kettleers lead 5-0 over the Harbor Hawks. And before we go to break, we bring on Adele Huffman, who last year.
Thanks, Alex. We cannot leave this game without talking about our pitchers. We've got Gabe Nard. This is his 2nd start this summer and his 8th appearance. At Duke, he appeared in 30 games, and this past year he had a 2.60 ERA, striking out 34 batters, and has allowed no runs tonight. Colin McKay also allowing no runs. And we need to talk about one of our All-Stars since we've got the All-Stars coming up. Brandon Compton in that 5th inning with a home run and a double in the 3rd inning. Seeing a lot from these guys out here tonight. It's making me think all of them are All-Stars. Joe, Alex, what's been the standout to you tonight?
Well, I think you said it right there, Brandon Compton's home run, but I mean, Devin Taylor is a guy who had to have been in the conversation at least for being an all-star. I mean, to have somebody who has now hit 5 home runs pretty much hit to the same level as Brandon Compton, who is an all-star, it's almost crazy to say that Devin Taylor isn't, because he's a guy who's getting a lot of draft hype for next summer, and it'd be crazy to think that he wouldn't be able to come to the best league in baseball in the summertime and not be an all-star. But I think maybe he's the one who sticks out to me most in this game so far, other than Compton. And obviously you talk to us about all the other All-Stars who are headed to Falmouth next weekend. So it's super exciting to see those guys play today and play well.
Definitely think it's exciting, but at least for me, I think it has to be the pitching performance of Colin McKay coming out of the bullpen, facing 6 hitters, 6 up, 6 down. This is a guy who really struggled in his first outing, but good to see him bounce back. And that's been a common theme that we've seen out of the Kettleers bullpen, guys who may have struggled in their first outing, bouncing back in outings 2, 3, and 4.
Yes, and Colin McKay, this is his second year with us, so he's definitely a fan favorite. He's become family here at Cotuit. So I'll send it back over to you, Joe and Alex. Finish out this game.
Thanks so much, Adele. Excellent stuff as always. As now it's Grant J set to dig in for his 4th plate appearance. He's 0 for 2, has reached twice. Reached on a drop third strike all the way back in the first inning and walked in the 5th. As Dominic Carbone returns to the mound for his 2nd full inning of work. Really quieted this Kettleer lineup. Cotuit 5 runs on 5 hits. Hyannis no runs on 3 hits. Both teams have yet to commit an error. And Jay foul tips the 1-0 pitch into the glove of Cannon Peebles, so Carbone evens it out at 1-1. Jay struggling hitting so far this summer. Average now down to 159 as this tough stretch at the dish continues. As Carbone kicks and deals the 1-1 pitch. That one high above the letters, so he falls behind Jay 2-1. Jay came into the game striking out at nearly 53% of his at-bats. We got a pitch that he could hit. Fouls it over our heads. Back behind our right shoulders. In the open area of grass behind us here at McKeon Park. So Carbone and Jay with the count even at 2-2 to begin this top of the 7th.
And we saw Grant J turn on a pitch earlier on in this ball game, sent it deep into the trees and left. And not the first time we saw him do that at this ballpark. Last game played, had a similar foul ball to the left field corner.
The 2-2 pitch to Jay, taking high and outside for ball 3. So Grant Jay works the count full here to begin the top of the 7th. That's something that we've seen a lot from the Kettleers today, battling deep in accounts, and another full count offering here. Carbone, the lefty, has the tan glove set at his belt, kicks and deals the payoff pitch, ball 4. So back-to-back walks for Grant J as he reaches to begin the top of the 7th.
No, and that's a great battle there by Grant J, who maybe earlier on in the season, this past week, the past couple of weeks, we'd have seen him swing and miss at some of those pitches that are outside the zone, but he's able to get a piece, able to foul off a few pitches, stay in the count, stay battling, and he's able to work a leadoff walk.
So Grant J reaches first. Now take a short lead off the bag as now digging in the lefty Brandon Compton. So lefty-lefty matchup. Compton once again having an excellent day at the dish so far. 2 for 3 with a double and home. Checks his swing, but he does go around on the opening pitch. So Carbone pulls ahead of Compton. This is a big spot. We've seen the 3 and 4 hitters, Brandon Compton, Devin Taylor, drive in all 5 runs as Compton hits this one on the ground to Bargo at third. He gets the second for 1, the relay throw in time. A 5-4-3 double play. Brandon Compton bounces into as quickly. There are 2 outs here to begin this top of the 7th.
Oh, that's exactly what Dominic Carbone needed, and that's more of what he's done since coming into this ballgame. Just allowed his second base runner and now his 3rd inning of work, but quickly able to draw the double play ground ball, and nicely done by this Hyannis infield. That's one of the best in the league, has committed the fewest of any team in the CCBL in terms of errors. They're in 3.
First pitch from Carbone in there as Devin Taylor watches it go by. Another first pitch strike for the lefties. Taylor 1 for 2 with a home run, blasted his 5th. Also has another 2 RBIs, 12 and 13 on the year. For the slugger out of Indiana as he watches a 90-mile-an-hour fastball miss off the plate. 1-1 is the count. Carbone attacking Taylor outside in the first 2 offerings. We'll see if he sticks with that location. Goes outside again. See off-speed pitch just low. So Taylor up on the count 2-1. This is a spot that we've seen him a lot of times, a very patient hitter. Not afraid to take his walk. has walked 10 times in 20 games this summer. As the 2-1 pitch, high twisting foul ball gets out of play and the left field line. Joe, we were dealing with clouds earlier on, but those clouds have dissipated and it's turned into an excellent night for baseball.
Oh, yeah, it has. A great baseball sunset down the left field line above the home dugout. And Devin Taylor trying to work this count, and he will so to full. So once again, we were talking about it earlier on in the game. He has more full counts than anybody on this team, and by a lot, we said.
It's the 28th full count of the year for Devin Taylor. Next highest was Brandon Compton with 15. That's not enough trouble. It's the bases are empty after the double play. Taylor hits this one on the ground to the second baseman, White, who fields Mooney, makes the easy throw in time. Then add Taylor for the third and final out. So Dominic Carbone issues the leadoff free pass to Grant J. He gets Brandon Compton to bounce it to a 5-inch double play and gets the 43 put out of Devin Taylor as we head to the bottom of the seventh with the Kettleers leading the Harbor Hawks 5-0 here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
The Cape Cod League All-Star Game is just a few weeks away. Cheer on your favorite Kettleers as they square off with some of the best players on the Cape. This year's game will be played in Falmouth on July 27th. The gates open up at 1:30 p.m. ahead of the 6 o'clock first pitch. All-Star Game tickets can be found at www.capecodleague.com/allstargame. Or you can find out more information about the tickets at the Kettleers store.
The Kettleers baseball clinics are well underway in the summer of 2024, offering boys and girls ages 6 through 17 with the opportunity to learn from some of the most experienced coaches and some of the top college baseball players in the country. With no prior baseball experience necessary, the camps teach kids the fundamentals of baseball, as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character. With just a few weeks of camp left, time is running out. So to sign up, head over to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. Again, that's info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. We hope to see you there.
Be a part of historic Lowell Park and support the Cotuit Kettleers by purchasing a paver engraved with your personal message to be placed in the new Walk of Champions. For more information, visit the Cotuit Kettleers website.
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
Seventh inning stretch time here at McKeon Park as Colin McKay runs out to the mound. There's a third inning of work, and Joe, it's just been an excellent day for Colin McKay. 2 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, 21 pitches, 17 strikes.
Yeah, I mean, he has just been stifling out there on the mound so far, working into his third inning of work here, and a guy who, after last season, was solid for the Kettleers, but didn't have that big of a sample size, so Mike Roberts decides to bring him back, had a bit of a year off at Virginia this past season, but still given an opportunity by Mike Roberts, and we saw him struggle through that first outing as you were talking about. You know that he's a guy who wants to come back out there, get some redemption in his second time out, and that's exactly what he's done today against the Harbor Hawks, as he has still not allowed a hit in this outing.
Now it's the left-handed hitting center fielder Eddie Pelk stepping in for his third at-bat. His Hyannis debut. Pelk today 1 for 2, singled in his first at-bat. As McKay starts him out with a first pitch, off-speed pitch that's taken beneath the knees. 4-1. The Pelk single was cut down at home as Nolan Naraki threw him out at home, trying to be the first Harbor Hawk run today. It's the 89-mile-an-hour fastball from McKay outside to the lefty Pelk. And grounded out to Nolan Naraki at third back in the 4th inning. So digging in here in the 7th for a third time. McKay, the tall righty, appears in, kicks and deals. 2-0 pitch called strike. Number 1 right down the heart of the plate. Helped this past year at Grand Canyon. Played in 57 games, hit .352. Had 5 home runs, 50 RBIs. That's a 2-1 pitch. Almost clipped the bottom of the zone, but it's called the ball 3. McKay has the tan glove set at his belt. Gets the sign from Jay. Now deals the 3-1 pitch. Cut on and tipped into the glove of Jay. So the count runs forward. Begin the bottom of the 7th. Kettleers 19-10-1 this season. Hyannis 17-12-1. So a big game in the West Division. As the 3-2 offering misses low and inside. So Eddie Pelk reaches for the second time today as he works to lead off well.
Kettleers coach Mike Roberts letting Jesse West, the home plate umpire, hear it after he thought a couple of those pitches maybe caught the bottom of the zone, but Colin McKay issues his first base runner of his second outing this season. So his 6-up, 6-down stretch ends, and he'll have to deal with that runner on first in Eddie Pelk.
Pickoff move. Pelk dives in safely. Pelk's the first base runner for Hyannis. It's all the way back in the 3rd inning. Eric Snow tallied Hyannis' 3rd base hit of the day. This is the second walk issued by the Kettleer pitching staff. Now it's Cannon Peebles who swings to the first pitch, blasts this one to deep center field. Going back to the track is Charles Davalon, who makes the play for a loud out number 1. Retreating back to the first base bag is Pelk. Yeah. So it's a long fly ball off the bat of Cannon Peebles as he's the first out.
Loud. I mean, you said it best. Loud contact is exactly right. Taking it to deep center field. Davalon had to go all the way back for it. And for Cannon Peebles, he's still looking for his first home run in this 2024 season. But it would have been really nice for him to get the first one against his former team, the Kettleers. But that'll have to wait.
So now it's Mason White. His first offering gets behind Jay. Scampering up to second is Pelk off the wild pitch. It's the first wild pitch of the day for Cotuit's pitching staff. So now the Harbor Hawks have a runner in scoring position, still with 1 out.
I just don't want to give up free base runners like that. It's something that Hyannis has given to the Kettleers all day long, and they've taken advantage of it sometimes and left a couple of runners in scoring position, and that's what they'll be trying to do here in this 7th inning.
Hyannis have left 4 runners on base. It's the 1-0 offering, high fastball taken outside.
We talk so much about momentum, Alex, and if you're able to keep this offense down for at least one more inning, that would be super incredible for this team, just to be able to hold off some of that momentum from being built for Hyannis and keeping them at no runs, also keeping them at 3 hits.
The 2-0 pitch, this is in the same spot, high and outside. So McKay falls behind White. Mason White 1 for 2 with a single and bounced out to Tanner Thatch over there at first base. McKay with a long look goes back at second, now comes home with the 3-0. But taking all the way, that's a fastball called the strike right down Main Street. Well, as Colin McKay starts to work back in this count. 3-1 is the count, 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. McKay, a long look now, comes home with the 3-1 offering. That misses outside, so it's another walk issued by Colin McKay as Hyannis has runners on first and second.
Another good count work by Mason White, who reaches base for the second time today, and Mike Roberts was a bit hesitant from his post just in front of the Kettleers dugout, but now with 1 inning, or with 1 out in the inning, we'll see if he decides to go to his bullpen. I'll bring the entire infield in, and it's obviously a big situation here for Blake Cabell. We saw the way he hit the ball the last time he was at the plate. It was a hard hit ball straight into the glove of Tanner Thatch, so we know that he saw the first pitch well from Colin McKay, was of course the first batter to face Colin McKay, so we'll see if Roberts decides to leave him in the game. It looks like he will not.
So Colin McKay's day is done. He goes 2 1/3. Does not allow a hit, allows two base runners, both coming in via the wall, and struck out two. So this night is over, and as the new arm for the Kettleers comes out to the mound, we'll step aside for a quick commercial break here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
The Cape Cod League All-Star Game is just a few weeks away. Cheer on your favorite Kettleers as they square off with some of the best players on the Cape. This year's game will be played in Falmouth on July 27th. The gates open up at 1:30 p.m. ahead of the 6 o'clock first pitch. All-Star Game tickets can be found at www.capecodleague.com/allstargame. Or you can find out more information about the tickets at the Kettleers store.
The Kettleers baseball clinics are well underway in the summer of 2024, offering boys and girls ages 6 through 17 with the opportunity to learn from some of the most experienced coaches and some of the top college baseball players in the country. With no prior baseball experience necessary, the camps teach kids the fundamentals of baseball, as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character. With just a few weeks of camp left, time is running out. So to sign up, head over to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. Again, that's info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. We hope to see you there.
Be a part of historic Lowell Park and support the Cotuit Kettleers by purchasing a paver engraved with your personal message to be placed in the new Walk of Champions. For more information, visit the Cotuit Kettleers website.
Colin McKay's day is over as Mike Roberts walks out to the mound, relieves McKay, and calls on the Cape Cod Baseball League All-Star Michael Ebner for yet again another appearance. And Joe Ebner had one blip against Harwich, but returned against Wareham and tossed one shutout innings.
Yeah, he did. His last time out against Wareham, it was just more of what we've seen from Michael Ebner all season, a guy who was getting ahead of batters, pitching to weak contact, and trusting his defense behind him. And I think that's exactly what he's going to try to be doing here today. His first appearance against Hyannis this season, and we've really seen him settle into a lot of games when he's been pitching on the road, and I think that can maybe be a mindset thing. That could be something that it's just you're not or don't have as many eyes on you as you do on the road as you do at home, especially at a ballpark like McKeon Park. But we'll see as he enters into a difficult situation here with runners on first and second, one gone, and the powerful Blake Cavill at the plate.
Ebner so far this summer has a 3-0 record, this being his 7th appearance. Has a 2-0 ERA as his first offering clips the foot of Blake Cavill, so not the ideal way that Michael Ebner wanted to start his night. As he punts Cavill, and now the bases are loaded. With one gone, now brings up the 9th man in the Hyannis order. It's Josh Tate.
Two had already allowed one grand slam against this Hyannis team so far this season, and they could really use one of those right here, but for Michael Ebner, just missing the mark with that first pitch. Got to find a way to refocus and get Josh Tate here.
Grand slam was off hit. Anthony Silva hit it in the first inning. The last time these two teams played, where Hyannis captured a 14-4 victory in 7 innings against Cotuit. As Ebner's 0-1 pitch, a breaking ball, and misses downstairs to the righty Tate. The count is evened up. Tate today 0 for 2, grounded out to Jaron Advincula to end the bottom of the second, and also struck out looking in the 5th. Against Colin McKay, one of his 2 strikeouts is the 1-1 pitch. This is side again. So Ebner falling behind the count 2-1 against Tate. Tate hitting .333 with the Harbor Hawks this summer. Big cut on and misses. That boy goes a 90-mile-an-hour fastball by him to even the count up at 2-2. Tate this past season at Georgia Southern started in all 59 games, hit .369 with 30 RBIs. The 2-2 on the way from Ebner on the outside corner, but it's called ball 3.
Mike Roberts asked the home plate up where that ball was. He didn't receive an answer, and this count will be full.
Pelican leads off third, White off second, Cavill off first, the payoff pitch. Staying alive is Tate chopping off foul behind home plate. Here the Harbor Hawks on deck circle. Cotuit still leading 5-0 here in the bottom of the 7th. Michael Ebner coming on in a big spot with the bases loaded and just 1 out. Kicks into the 3-2 post. Tate stays alive, fouling the ball straight back into the netting behind home plate.
Well, Tate's a guy who can really work the count. Has struck out 8 times through 12 games so far this season, and struck out for the 13th time, or excuse me, for the 9th time his last time up. And he's 0 for 2 today. That was against Colin McKay.
The payoff pitch. Tate hits this one. So look for one here in the 7.
Well, rocketed off of the left leg. It looked like a Mikey Ebner. Grant J will walk out to the mound to make sure that he's okay. And he ushers him back to behind the plate. Didn't even let him walk onto the mound. Says he's all right. And still with the bases loaded, will be facing one of the toughest outs in this Hyannis order. Kane Kepley with the bases loaded and 1 gone.
So Pell coming in to score is at run charge to Colin McKay. So leading off third is Mason White, Blake Cavill off second, Josh Tate on first. Ebner's first pitch to Kane Kepley misses for ball 1. Kepley, the leadoff man in the Harbor Hawks order, is 0 for 2. Did walk in the first, struck out looking in the third, and popped up to Naraki in the 5th. As a off-speed pitch freezes Kepley to even the count up at 1. Kepley, the average might not be where he wants it coming into today, hitting just 230 in 100 at-bats. As he floats a ball in a short center field. Coming on is just 1 run comes to the score. Single for the Harbor Hawks as Kane Kepley dumps the ball down in the left center field. So it's a 5-2 ball game here at Cruz Break.
Both of those runs being charged to Colin McKay, who had a great outing, but that one just a weak contact base hit off the bat of Kane Kepley. Kind of got it in off his hands, a jam shot to the left center field alleyway, and there just really wasn't anybody there in time to get it. And so now Grant J with a one-on-one meeting with Mikey Ebner on the mound right now, trying to figure out a way to get Eric Snow, which hasn't been the easiest task to do tonight. He's 1 for 3, a single back in the 3rd inning, and those hits in this at the start of this inning for Hyannis, the first hits of the game since Eric Snow's single back in the 3rd. So an opportunity for them to keep this inning going, and now the tying run stands at first base.
So Ebner has come into the game, allowed a hit by pitch of Blake Cavill, and back-to-back singles to Josh Tate and Kane Kepley. He pulls ahead of Eric Snow as he watched the first pitch flip the strike zone. Cavill stands on third, Tate off second, Kepley on first as Ebner kicks and deals. His 0-1 pitch, taken low and outside to the righty Snow. Ebner this past year at USC pitched in 23 games, made 3 starts, had a 5.08 ERA in 39 innings. As Snow takes a big putt out of the 90-mile-an-hour fastball, but comes up with nothing but air as he falls behind in the count 1-2 against the Kettleers right. Hyannis already with 2 runs here in the inning, just 1 out. Ebner deals the 1-2 pitch. Snow stays alive, fouling a pitch right back into the net. Snow has been one of the leaders of this Hyannis squad at the top of their order. Came into today hitting .361. Today being his 24th game played. The 1-2 offer. Snow stays alive. How's that pitch? Into the trees down the right field line. 2 guys duking it out, Ebner and Snow. Both will be teammates later this week in the All-Star game. It's always cool to see 2 guys having a big battle here. We'll be teammates later in this week. The 1-2 pitch, swinging. Snow checked his swing, disagrees with the call, but Ebner ranks him up, gets a big second out there.
Now, Snow had no idea where that missed, but it was a breaking ball on a string for Mikey Ebner that's got it in the bottom part of the zone. Have to assume that Grant J's framing at the bottom part of that zone, too, played a big part in that. And that is a crucial second out of this inning for the Kettleers to keep Hyannis with the bases juiced. And now a guy who's 0 for 3 so far today is digging in.
So it's the left-handed hitting third baseman, Dalton Vargo, who's 0 for 3, like you mentioned, Joe, and has really had a tough day with 3 strikeouts. 2 swinging, 1 looking. As Ebner looking at a first pitch strike. This has been something that Vargo has struggled with all summer. Today being his 14th game played, has struck out 23 times in 49 at-bats. Ebner comes home with the 0-1 pitch. Bargo spoils it. Fouls that over the press box just to the left of him. So 2 quick strikes, and Bargo's down to the count 0-2.
And in each of those at-bats, he fell behind in the count. So falling behind once more here, if you're Mikey Ebner, you have the opportunity to maybe spoil one pitch, but with the bases loaded, don't want to have to do that, looking to maybe dot something beneath his own.
Ebner looking to strand the bases loaded and keep it a 5-2 ball game. Near to pitch. Today. So Michael Ebner comes out of the bullpen, does allow 2 runs, but strands 3 runners on base after back-to-back strikeouts of Eric Snow and Dalton Bargo as we head to the top of the 8th, with Cotuit leading Hyannis 5-2 here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
With 30 plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
Drake Meeks is the new arm into the game for Hyannis as he comes in relief with Dominic Carbone. And Carbone, the lefty, dicing through the middle of this Kettler lineup as he goes 2 1/3, does not allow a hit, just 1 base runner on the walk, and does strike out about it. So they give way to Drake Meeks, who's making his 4th appearance so far this summer with the Harbor. In his first 3 appearances, 4 innings. Left one only walks, but he has it down. Down 7-5. As the 6'4" righty comes in and gets set to face off against the 5, 6, and 7 batters and the Kettler line, Easton Winfield, Charles Davlon, and Timo Becerra.
Well, Meeks is a guy who was coming off of injury from his final high school season and was able to make his first career collegiate start or collegiate appearance. It was against Louisiana Tech on March 10th and went on to make 3 more appearances after that. So an incredibly small sample size for him this spring.
So here is the lefty, Easton Winfield, who takes a big cut out of the 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Meeks. Fouls that straight back into the blue padding. Winfield, a tough day at the plate so far, 0 for 3 with a strikeout and a pair of flyouts to Josh Tate in left field. Meeks, the tall righty, working with a tan glove that's set right at his chest. Takes a long look in with a leg kick, deals 94-mile-an-hour fastball high and outside to the lefty Winfield. Winfield came into today riding a 6-game hitting streak, has reached in all 7 games he's played in with Cotuit. Both of those streaks in danger of coming to an end as Winfield chops this one on the ground foul to Blake Cavill at first base. Winfield, Joe, coming into today has 9 hits, 4 extra bases, 3 doubles and a home run, and has really shined in his 7 games with the Kettleers.
Yeah, Mike Roberts really said it best. He's been lining the baseball. He runs really well, and that combination is a big reason as to why he's headed to Texas.
The 1-2 pitch outside to the lefty Winfield, so the count evened up at 2-2.
Roberts also bringing up that he played high school football and saying how you got to be a good athlete to play 6A high school football in Texas. And that's what Easton Winfield did.
Righty Meeks takes a long look in, comes home with the 2-2 pitch. Got him swinging. A blazing fastball from Drake Meeks as Easton Winfield goes down on strikes for the second time today. So he's now 0 for 4.
Yeah, but the guys around him in the lineup have done enough to pick him up, mainly Charles Davalon right behind him, Devin Taylor, Brandon Compton batting in front of him. Davalon today is 1 for 2, reached on a walk, a single, also a strikeout.
Just 5 hits for the Kettleers today. Coming on the backs of 3 players. Brandon Compton with 2. 4 players, excuse me. Brandon Compton with 2, Devin Taylor with 1, Charles Davalon with 1, and Tanner Thatch with 1. Count is 0-1 on the left-handed hitting center fielder as Meeks comes home. Davalon expands his zone, pops the 1-0 pitch out of play just to the left of the press box. Davalon playing in his 15th game as a Kettleer, bashing a .256 batting average. Looking to get on base here in the top of the 8th. Meeks kicks and deals the 1-1 offering. The slow chopper right back to him on the mound. Fields clearly his throw and plenty of time to nab Davalon. So Drake Meeks comes out of the bullpen and gets 2 quick outs here to begin this top of the 8th.
Just as this Hyannis order is continuing to heat up, Cotuit has not been able to get a base hit since that 5th inning. There's a 3-run homer off the bat of Brandon Compton, but since then have put just 2 runners on, walked, and a hit by pitch. But other than that, a couple of strikeouts. That was obviously across Dominic Carbone and now Drake Meeks' appearances. They have held the Kettleers off the base paths and off the scoreboard since that 5th frame.
Cotuit with 2 runs in the 3rd, 3 in the 5th. Hyannis with 2 in the bottom of the 7th as the first pitch from Meeks nearly runs up and drills Becerra as he has to duck out of the way. Righty-righty matchup here between Becerra and Meeks. The Kettleer shortstop 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. He'll lay down a sacrifice bunt, but he takes a healthy cut out of the 92-mile-an-hour fastball, but misses it. Becerra also with a ground out to shortstop, Eric Snow, as he led off the 6th inning. Meeks deals the 1-1 offering, a high-towering pop-up to first base. Blake Cavill camps underneath it in foul ground and makes the grab for the 3rd and final out. So Drake Meeks comes out of the bullpen for Hyannis. It's a strikeout with Easton Winfield. With Timo Becerra. As the Kettleers still enjoy a 5-2 advantage over the Harbor Hawks as we step aside and take a quick break here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990, their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Michael Ebner returning to the mound for his first full inning. 2 strikeouts, back-to-back strikeouts, and stranded the bases loaded in the bottom half of the 7th. 2 Hyannis runs did come across, So the Kettleers lead 5-2. I'm Alex Rafter, joined alongside by Jimmy Shantulis, hopping on the broadcast. And Jimmy, put another excellent performance by the Kettleers pitching staff.
Yeah, 100%. Their ability to control this pace of play here has been exceptional, keeping the Keds up the entirety of this game so far.
And to put the announcer's jinx on it as the first offering from Michael Lebner goes straight back to the backstop, kicks off the blue padding.
Announcer jinx, what are you talking about?
So 1-0 is the count against the cleanup hitter, Michael DeTalo, who's 0 for 3. It's a high pop-up to Tanner Thatch at first base near the Kettler dugout, putting out his hand, feeling for the fence, and making the grab for the first out, and a really nice and veteran play by Tanner Thatch.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen him do that plenty of times this season already. Able to track that ball way up in the air. Knows he has plenty of room. Grant J making that call up for him. Easy put out for him.
So now it's the center fielder, Eddie Pelk, in his Harbor Hawk debut. Pelk has reached two of 3 plate appearances, has a single and has a walk. The lone time he's been retired, a 5-3 put out to Nolan Rocky at third base, as Ebner gets ahead of him with a first pitch strike as Pelk watches it go by. Lefty Pelk looking to spark a rally with the Harbor Hawks down to its final 5 outs, with Ebner continuing to pound the zone. That's ahead of Pelk as he watches the 1 pitch to catch the zone. So quickly 2 strikes from Ebner. Ebner the righty working out of the stretch, deals the 0-2 pitch that spiked in the dirt, kept in front by Jag. Ebner has been everything that Mike Roberts and company could have asked for coming out of the Kettler bullpen. Ate up 18 innings coming into today. Allowed just 2 hits, 4 runs. Big swing and a miss there by Pelk as Ebner pans him on the 1-2 pitch as Ebner gotten 4 outs, 3 via the punch out so far.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic bottom of the second quarter there. He was able to recollect himself on the mound, put away 2 for the Cats. 1 more out.
Hey, Mikey, you're so bad! You're so bad! You blew my mind, Mikey! So now it's Cannon Peoples digging in, the catcher, squaring off against his old team. Peoples today 0 for 3. In his first at bat, the hard liner right off, he ignored, hard collected, fired a strike over to retire Peoples as Ebner pulls ahead of Peoples here. Count is 0-1. Peoples also bounced out to Advincula at second and flew out to Charles Dablon in center field. As the righty deals the 0-1 pitch, Peoples hits this one in the right field. Looking up is Easton Winfield, being able to track it and make the for the third and final out of the inning. So Michael Ebner comes out of the bullpen, gets back-to-back strikeouts to end the 7th inning, and works a 1-2-3 bottom of the 8th as we head to the top of the 9th from McKeon Park as Cotuit beats Hyannis 5-2 here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Escape the summer heat at Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free cone on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
Willow Bend has been regarded as one of Cape Cod's and New England's premier private clubs and communities for over 25 years. Willow Bend is a family-friendly community right here in Cotuit. They strive for a fun and relaxed lifestyle with good times and good friends. Discover all that and more at
Top of the 9th here at McKeon Park. Cotuit leading Hyannis 5-2 in a battle of 2 West Division foes. Rivalry matchup between the Kettleers and the Harbor Hawks. Joe, talked about it earlier in the broadcast, but a lot of clouds turned into an excellent night for baseball, but it just got really dark here at McKeon Park. Nice dark and blue cloud.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty overcast all day. There was rain at the beginning of the day. Obviously, we know that there's rain in the forecast for tomorrow and we'll be in Orleans, but we'll see how that goes. But it turned out to be a good night for baseball. I mean, a lot of cloud cover, continually getting dark, but of course they do have lights here at McKeon Park, so that definitely helps us being able to play deeper into this ball game as we start off the top of the ninth.
So it is Nolan Araki digging in for the first time, squaring off against Drake Meeks, who's back out to the mound. For his second full inning of work, came out of the pen and got a 1-2-3 top of the eighth against Easton Winfield, Charles Davalon, and Timo Becerra. But it's the 8-9-1 hitter set to face Meeks as he kicks and deals the first offering to Naraki inside against the right-handed hitting third baseman. Rocky 0 for 3 today, struck out swinging in the second, bounced out to Dalton Bargo in the fourth over there at third base, and then popped up to Mason White in the sixth. The 1-0. Climbing the ladder, Naraki expands his zone to even the count up at 1. Something that we talked about earlier, Naraki not being the everyday man at third base. This is his first start since July 19th against Wareham. Before that, was a start against Orleans on July 17th. As Naraki looks at a pitch low and outside for ball 2. Still with productive numbers, came into today with a .260 average, 3 home runs, 12 RBIs. Now hitting .250 after his 0 for 3 performance. They locked this one right back up the middle, and that'll get down into center field. Is getting out of the way. That was Drake Meeks. So a hard line drive off the bat of Nolan Naraki. He notches his first hit, improving to 1 for 4.
His 21st of the summer and his first one since that start at Yarmouth Dennis last Monday, as you mentioned. He went 1 for 4 there with an RBI single and jumps all over that pitch from Drake Meeks and improves to 1 for 4 on the day. The Kettleers with another leadoff base runner in this 9th inning, their first hit since Brandon Compton's 3-run homer back in the 5th.
It's the 6th hit of the day for the Kettleers. Now that brings up the 9th man in Mike Roberts' lineup. Jaron Advincula, who swings at the first pitch, dribbles it back to Meeks. He bobbles it, kicks off his glove, but his throw is in time to nab Advincula. So moving up to second is Nolan Araki, but a nice play by Meeks to stick with that ground ball.
Yeah, he was able to knock it down and packed up off the heel with his glove and likely was trying to quickly make that transfer and throw it to second and attempt to turn 2, but he's just able to get the 1 out at first, and with a runner in scoring position, Tanner Thatch has a chance to bring in a run of insurance for the Kettleers as they lead it by 3 in this top of the 9th.
Thatch today, 1 for 4. Did double in the 5th inning. Yeah, exactly. Swings away at the first pitch from the righty. Meeks fouls that back on the 93-mile-an-hour fast. Thatch today, that was his 5th double. Has 13 extra base hits out of 27 hits this year. 23 RBIs, now finds himself second in that category to Brandon Compton's 25. Thatch takes a big swing, dribbles this one to the first baseman. This look sling it the entire way. Blake Campbell hit a Thatch, legged it out for his second hit. And now Cotuit has runners on the corners with 1 gone.
That ground ball was kind of a no man's land in between the pitcher, first baseman, and second baseman. And it looked like Blake Cavill at first thought that the pitcher Meeks was going to go ahead and field that ball, so he was a bit hesitant in picking it up. And then Meeks, who obviously pulled the chutes on the ground ball, still had to cover first base, so he kind of had to ramp up his feet at the end there and try to get on first base, but it was by that time already too late. Tanner Thatch beat it out. They'll have another chance, though, with the runner on first to turn 2, but Grant J just looking to put the ball in play here and score that 6th run for the Kettleers.
Thatch now 5 for his last 14 over the last 3 games. Picks up another multi-hit performance here. So he's now 2 for 5. Now that brings up Grant J. J, who's 0 for 2, has reached 3 times. Has walked twice. Also reached on a drop third strike all the way back in the 1st inning, but comes up in a big spot here with runners on the corners, 1 gone, and Cotuit leading 5-2 as he takes a healthy cut on the 93-mile-an-hour fastball and lines it hard into the net behind home plate.
Another big cut from Grant J. That time he just missed it, fouled it straight back, and it seems like Tanner Thatch, we saw Nolan Araki square one up against Drake Meeks. They're sitting fastball right around 93, 94, and just missing it.
Jay does have a home run against Hyannis, was his second this year as a high looping breaking ball. Nearly pops in and out of the glove of Cannon Peebles. Peebles does hold on, so the runners stay put on the corners. Count evened up at 1-1. This has been a tough stretch for Grant J over the last few games. Now to 34 strikeouts and 63 at-bats. Meeks, his pickup move gets away from the first baseman Cavill, making the slow jog in from third is Nolan Naraki, so it's an errant throw that deflects off the glove of Blake Cavill as Naraki crosses home plate, and the Kettleers now lead 6-2.
Yeah, that pickoff move actually hits Tanner Thatch on the leg, just squeezes away towards the Kettleers dugout. Naraki scores easily from third, and looks like they didn't need to rely on some two-out hitting or at least a deep fly ball from Grant J to bring in that sixth run.
That's a big play in this game. Is still with the double play threat with Thatch on first base as Meeks misses high. So the count goes to 2-1. Of course, the run comes in to score. Still with the double play threat, but another insurance run on the board for Cotuit. As Meeks comes home, Jay tries to check his swing. The appeal down at first. He does go around. So the count evened up at 2-2 to the Kettleer catcher. Jay, 6 of his 10 hits this year have gone for extra bases, 3 doubles, 3 home runs. Let's have 9 RBIs as Thatch takes a short lead over there at first base. Meeks the righty, kicks and deals. His 2-2 pitch got him looking. Painted on the inside corner, Grant J is rung up on strikes for a third time tonight as he's the second out here in the ninth.
Fastball outside of the righty Grant J, and he thought that one was a bit too far outside, but the home plate umpire rings him up, and it's the second out for Drake Meeks, just trying to give his offense some looks here in the bottom of the ninth, but with 2 outs and a man who's already hit a ball over the right field scoreboard. Can't get too complacent here if you're Drake Meeks.
The first pitch to Brandon Compton. Coach Will Thompson and Joe, it's been big.
Yeah.
We have talked about this every game. When is Will Thompson going to make a play? He didn't.
Yeah, I mean, no wonder he's on the coaching staff, a guy who leads by example, and soft hands there from Will Thompson at first base. What a play.
0-1, another foul ball from Brandon Compton right behind home plate.
That might be the biggest outburst from the Cotuit faithful at a road stadium all season. The Will Thompson ground ball 2-hopper fielded right into the basket. Would have easily relayed that to first, likely for a deep play from third base because, he's playing third.
The other 2 for Coach Compton. This one to center field going back to the track is Pell. He will make the grab as Compton hit it along the way right in front of the 379 sign in dead center field. So it's another long ball to that of Brandon Compton, but not before Cotuit picks up another run as Nolan Araki comes in to score. After the fielding miscue by the pitcher, Drake Meeks, so we head to the bottom of the ninth. With Cotuit leading Hyannis 6-2 here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Each week, the Cape Cod Baseball League is honoring those who served with Red Shirt Fridays. Every home team on Fridays wear red Cape League uniforms and an Army camouflaged hat. For every Friday game at Lowell Park, the Kettleers are honoring a hero of the game presented by the Massachusetts State Lottery. For exclusive Red Shirt Friday gear like fitted player hats, head to the Kettleers store at the ballpark. We hope you can join us for a Red Shirt Friday at Lowell Park this season. For over 40 years, Vollmer & Son Construction has proudly served its community, providing a wide range of construction services, from bathroom renovations to complete home remodels. When you work with Vollmer & Son, you are being taken care of by natives of Cape Cod who support the community by using local suppliers and subcontractors. Vollmer & Son Construction, a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Looking to connect with the right business? ZoomInfo's got you covered. With a database of over 100 million company profiles, they provide top-notch data to boost sales and marketing growth. Since 2007, ZoomInfo's B2B data quality has ensured that businesses have the best intelligence right at your fingertips. Discover more at zoominfo.com and see how you can get connected today.
Michael Ebner's day is done. He goes an inning and 2/3, allows 2 hits and strikes out 3 as Mike Roberts goes to his bullpen and calls upon Zach Duenas to pick up the 20th victory of the season for the Kettleers. This being Duenas' 3rd appearance is a 1-0 record for Joe. Once again, we saw the dominance of Michael Ebner, came into a tough spot, did allow 2 hits, but straight on the bases loaded and worked a 1-2-3 bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, he did. What a great response from him. 1-2-3 in the 8th. The strikeout of Eddie Pelk, who has been a force in the middle of the lineup for Hyannis so far today, has scored a run for them, has gotten a hit for them, but now he'll send it to Zach Duenas, who's making another appearance for the Kettleers this summer. This will be his 3rd, has already finished 1 game at Lowell Park this season, has gone 2 2/3, allowed a hit, struck out 4, walked 2, no earned runs against him to this point, but he'll be facing, as it stands right now, unless they decide to bring in some pinch hitters, it'll be Mason White, Blake Cowell, and Josh Tate. Across those 3, 2 hits, and RBI single by Josh Tate in the 7th inning. But it'll be the tall right-hander who gets the ball at the end of the game once again for the Kettleers.
Duenas stands 6'10", 225 pounds. He gets set to square off against the 7, 8, and 9 hitters of the Harbor Hawks lineup. Here's the first pitch to Mason White. A looping breaking ball that's in there for strike number 1.
Just a nasty first pitch there from Duenas. Starts at the top of the zone, breaks into bell tight. Nothing White can do with that.
The other one is pitched, 94-mile-an-hour fastball that speeds the bat up on White, fouls it to the left of the press box.
You get that looping breaking ball, and then you get a fastball down the heart of the plate at the upper into the mid-90s. So really difficult 2-pitch mix to face there.
The 0-2 pitch, high fastball, laid off for by White, so he stays alive with the count at 1-2. Mason White today, Hyannis' second baseman. He's 1 for 2, has reached twice, singled in the 2nd, and walked and came around to score in the 7th. As Duenas misses low and in tight to the lefty. The count evened up at 2-2 after the 77-mile-an-hour break. Duenas, the righty, kicks and deals the 2-2 pitch, spiked in the dirt. So the count goes from 0-2 to 3-2 to begin the bottom of the 9th. Duenas takes a deep breath. Now deals the 3-2 pitch. Duenas goes back to the fastball, getting the swing and miss of Mason White. As White is the first batter retired here in the 9th inning, and that brings up the first baseman, Blake Cowell.
Went straight back to that fastball and gets the swing and miss there to pick up the strikeout of Mason White. First strikeout of his on the day, and now facing Blake Cowell.
The Kettleer pitching staff with 9 strikeouts so far. The first pitch to Cowell. The letters, that's called strike number 1. Cowell 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice on the 2nd, bounced out hard to Tanner Thatch at first base. And a beautiful 3 on a 6th. Speaking of things that are beautiful, breaking ball that clips the outside corner. Cowell shakes his head, thought that was ball 1, but he's down the count 0-2 against Duenas. The 0-2 pitch. Hot glove by Grant Jay.
Jay's asking where that missed, and likely if he's able to hang on to that ball, it's definitely a called strike 3, but there are no definites in this game, that's for sure.
1-2 is the count here to Cowell. The lefty does not go. Duenas back to the heater, 90 miles an hour, high and outside. So the count moving up at 2-2. Duenas looking to secure the 6-2 Kettleer victory and clinch the Patriot Cup. Duenas goes with the breaking ball, gets Cowell well out in front, Zach Duenas comes out of the bullpen, gets back-to-back strikeouts. Hawks are down to their final out.
Just a pretty breaking ball there from Zach Duenas. Just as he did to Mason White, starts it at the top of the zone. He buckles at the knees, watches it go by for a called strike through. Well, that one he swung right over it, but for Mason White, nothing he could do with those breaking balls either. He got finished with the fastball, and now the final chance for the Harbor Hawks.
Josh Tate hits this one into short center field. He makes the play for the third and final out. So Zach Duenas comes into the bullpen, works a 1-2-3 bottom of the ninth as Cotuit. This is win number 20 as they defeat them 6-2 here at the Kettleers Park. And this is the 8th straight Patriot Cup victory for the Kettleers.
And to do it here at McKeon Park was even that much sweeter for these Kettleers. A 6-2 win, and it was the offense early on, the home run ball by Devin Taylor, and then it was Brandon Compton who obliterated that ball into right field, and then, of course, the extra run in insurance in that ninth frame. But you can't look at this game and not appreciate the great pitching that the Kettleers received. First, it was Gabriel Nard, three hits, no earned runs in 4 innings, and then 2 earned by Colin McKay, but those came against Mikey Ebner, who went 1 2/3 innings, settled in the second inning of work. But Zach Duenas, I mean, what more can you say about him? A guy who just dominated the Valley League at the start of the summer, has continued those winning ways into the Cape League in this summer, and 3 up, 3 down for him is pretty much a microcosm of the entire game and the entire series against the Harbor Hawks so far this season.
What does it say about this Kettleer pitching staff? This is a high-powered Hyannis team that does hit well. They came into today third in average, but for the Kettleers, you shut it down, only allow 5 hits, 2 runs, and strike out 10 hitters. What does it say about how talented this Cotuit pitching staff is?
Well, I think it just shows you the depth. I mean, they can really throw anybody in any game that they want to. They can bring anybody into any situation and have confidence in them getting out of it. I mean, we were able to see the board before the game, knowing which arms are available to go in the bullpen. And based on the guys who are on that board, only one of them was used, and the other one was Mikey Ebner and Zach Duenas. Those 2 guys maybe not slotted to go in the game today, but it shows you that they can make adjustments based on the way the game goes. And they could tell Mike Roberts and his entire coaching staff could maybe foresee that this could be a tight game to the end. It was. Mikey Ebner, you want to give him the game with the lead. They did, but then sent it to the new addition into this roster, Zach Duenas, who was able to close it out. But of course, it was the early offense, the home run ball, that took care of business early on and ended up holding true at the end of the game.
You mentioned the early offense and the home run ball being a factor. Brandon Compton, Devin Taylor, the 3-4 hitters in this Cotuit lineup went a combined 3 for 8 with 5 RBIs. Both blasted their 5th home runs of the summer. And what does it say about the middle of that lineup of a guy like Brandon Compton and Devin Taylor who continue to have success?
Well, it shows you that you don't have to rely on the guys who have, in recent weeks, been the guys who have really powered this offense, being Jared Advincula, being guys like Easton Winfield and Tanner Thatch. With those guys only accumulating for, 1 hit today, it was off the bat of Tanner Thatch, no hits other than that. But to be able to see other guys step up in this lineup and continue to produce offensively, it's just really promising to see that you can put so many different guys in the lineup every single day and know that you're going to be able to get production. And that's exactly what happened today with Brandon Compton, Devin Taylor in the heart of that lineup. But it was also the guys who were able to get on base, Tanner Thatch, Grant Shea, more of those similar names. But you like to see other guys like Charles Davalon getting involved in the offense, who's not in there each and every day, but still able to make a difference when he is in there. Nolan Naraki as well, scoring the 6th run of the game. So there are a lot of positives to build upon this game, and 3 more before the All-Star break. You want to bring that momentum in tomorrow at Orleans, and then 2 straight home games before the All-Stars get to play in Falmouth.
And Joe, one final question. You mentioned the game against Orleans. Orleans currently trailing 10-4 in the top of the 9th against Wareham, but for Cotuit, lost their 2 games ago against YD, come back after the off day, pick up a much-needed victory against Hyannis 6-2. How do they continue this momentum into tomorrow?
Well, you'd like to see similar pitching to what you saw today, and I think that's what you asked me on Sunday night after getting maybe not great pitching at the end of that ball game. So I'd say late inning pitching, bullpen pitching, because you could really see the Hyannis offense start to click a little bit, start to get things going in those 6th and 7th innings. But we were talking about momentum at the time and being able to cut down that momentum, not let them build any of that momentum. And a big reason to that is bringing in new pitchers into the game, getting big strikeouts, and that's exactly what Mikey Ebner did, and then Zach Duenas, and of course Colin McKay, who was the first man out of the pen. So you'd like to see the bullpen play continue to be strong because it's an Orleans team where you've lost a game against them mainly because of that bullpen giving up the lead at the end of the game, and then one game the bullpen did give up the lead, but the Bats were able to come back with a 3-run home run off the bat of Tanner Thatch late in that ball game to defeat the Firebirds the last time these two teams played. But for tomorrow, against a team that pitches as well as Orleans, you'd like to see the Bats wake up, also match the pitching level that Orleans can put in and night out. So hopefully the Kettleers will be eyeing win 21 tomorrow night in Orleans.
But that'll do it from McKeon Park for my broadcast partner, Joe Pratt. For our sideline reporter, Adele Huffman, who is getting set to interview head coach Mike Roberts, and you can check out that interview on our Cotuit Kettleer YouTube channel. For our production crew of Cam Christie and Jimmy Shantulis, I'm Alex Rocco. Thank you so much for spending part of your Tuesday night with us, as the Kettleers are victorious with a 6-2 victory over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, picking up win number 21 on the year. We'll talk to you tomorrow